the Kavrosi Mountains and the highway stretching down all the way from the peaks on the long road you have taken from Timony. You now look down the steep switchback of the highway towards the massive crossroads where a train of wagons and those coming from the mountains have piled up at a busy crossroads, some turning to the east, headed towards Riesengirdle and the lands of the Einfas, and others turning right, headed to Dol Makyar, and there hangs the sign, Dol Makyar, a mere 5 miles away. The city is soon to be in view, and as the sun sets over the mountains, we find Lord Wicander Halavar of the Candescent Creed. God damn it. Damn it. I didn't think you would be in the cold open. You see yourselves gazing out. Your companions have gone off to scout if there is perhaps some back road or farmer's way. As you see, there are some soldiers down sort of monitoring the crossroads. The two of you are currently hidden in the wagon, along with a draped stone statue, which is the body of Taliesin Pridesire. Your companions farther afield scouting for another way around here so you don't have to go through this highly monitored area. But you are probably no more than a few hours at this point from a return to Dol Makyar, a city that holds many secrets, many schemes, and one enormous captured angel. What now falls upon the minds of Tyranny and Wick in this moment?
We're under this blanket with the stone body of Tayar's brother. And Wick, I know that you're nervous about going home, but you have to try to stop farting because we're under this blanket together, okay? Please lock it up.
It's the only way I can stop thinking about my sweaty palms, honestly.
You're going through a lot.
No. It's just we're so close that it's starting to feel real again. And, there's so many different directions we could go when we get back there. What if we reach the city gates and we're held under arrest by guards or something? Or what if we see someone we know on the streets? What if someone calls my name and I turn around because I forget I'm Nick now. I'm not Wick,
Well, let's go through this options one by one. If somebody searches the cart and finds us or tries to place us under arrest, I presume we've only been gone, like a week or so? Like, you still have pull in Dol Makyar. You're still the chosen scion. So I think that there's a level of being able to talk your way out of pretty much anything, unless there's something that you haven't told me about how your family handles corporal punishment in your family.
I don't know. The fact of the matter is I don't know what they think of me right now, and frankly, I'd like to go. It's a big family, you know this. Maybe there's some folks in there that are still good or don't know about these chained up angels and strange uses of filament and lies that they've been telling. Maybe I could speak to some of my family or some of the Creed who are still have good hearts. But, in order to do that, I need to keep in character. Back there, you effortlessly played Dr. Finger. You effortlessly fell into the role of Octus. I believed you. Well, maybe not everybody else did, but I was at least impressed with your commitment to the character. And I guess my question to you is there some sort of acting exercise, or how do you do it? How do you stay in character? What if I get nervous and my palms start sweating and I let out little toots? What can I do to focus myself?
Well, again, you are basically royalty, so if you toot, no one's gonna, I will take the blame. That's part of the job, right? Of course, we've agreed to that. I think you need to talk to Hal, because he's the one who has the acting chops. I mean, I appreciate that you think I was doing a good job,
You were
but
doing fantastic.
I think he might be a good person to talk to. I mean, in your family, your mom seems like someone who is not directly super evil. I don't know. Do you want to go talk to your mom?
She's sweet.
How do you feel about confronting your grandma, Yanessa?
Oh,
Is that
God.
no? That's a no. Okay.
I let out a small
we're on the
toot.
same page.
I instantly toot. Institute.
The small sound of a miniature clarion trumpet.
Do you think Teo's brother somehow can hear us? I feel like I'm gonna just take a little piece of cloth and sort of drape it over his.
I'm more worried
his
about if he
face.
can smell us.
I guess, yes, I would like to talk to my mother. I would like to talk to Hal. And I'd like to see who out there is still someone we can trust and who isn't. But that's going to take subterfuge.
Okay.
And sneakies and acting skills.
So you want to be really low key about it.
I think so, at first,
Okay.
yes.
Because last time we did a check-in, you were like, fuck my family. Sorry. You were like, I don't like my family, and I'm going to burn this thing to the ground.
No.
So-
I'd still like to do that, but at first I feel like we just need information.
Okay.
Right?
Reconnaissance.
So just finding out who we can trust, who can help us in this quest. I still am very much of the. I feel like we've changed a little bit on this little journey we've had.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me see your palms.
They're really sticky.
Why are they sticky?
They're sweaty. They're sweaty.
Okay. They are a little sticky, but look, I see a callus. Look at that.
I mean,
Strong hands.
no. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, you're grizzled. You've been to war, baby. It's time. I think that you can now leverage. And you know what I think? I think that on the surface, when someone asks from your family what we've been doing, grassroots outreach. We've been
Spreading the word.
spreading the word. We've been getting temp checks, and everybody still loves the creed. And as far as anybody,
Speaking of, I don't want to brag or anything, or maybe I should feel shame about this, but we stopped at a Creed temple en route, and I
don't know if I should brag, but maybe I should feel ashamed. I've never been more excited in what you're about to say.
I pulled a Tyranny. I swiped something from a gentleman.
You stole?
Shut your face! Shut your face!
You stole from me.
I pulled a Tyranny. I stole these priestly orders, and they have something.
Your radiance. What are you gonna do about that?
I have to figure out what they mean and what they say, and what they seem to have some sort of magical aura. Maybe someone could help us with that. Someone who knows
you
magical
steal?
things. They're priestly orders, but they just seem normal on the surface. But I don't know. What do they say? Are they?
These are essentially the documents that anoint and establish the sort of humble mountaintop chapel lux that you ran into on your return to Dol Makyar as a lux of the Candescent Creed. They are the holy orders, meaning they are, it's almost blasphemous to say this, but it's a bit like a diploma. It is a mark of station. It is a
But there's nothing creepy or weird in the writing or in the words.
Even for something like the Candescent Creed that wields tremendous magical power, it's weird to have. You walk into a normal chapel of the Candescent Creed, and there's not glowing magical artifacts everywhere. So why did these orders have a small magical essence to them? Tyranny. Go ahead, if you'd be so kind, and give me either perception, or if you'd like, give me Arcana. And if you want to cast any magic about it, feel free to do that too.
Cast any magic about it, huh?
Do you have any detecty magic type stuff, or?
I don't have anything that detects magic. I could suggest to my dice to do a really good roll.
That's good. I try to suggest that to my dice all the time.
I get a +1 in Arcana, so I'm gonna use my demon smell and sniff out some. Oh, 19.
A 19 is very
Something
good.
smells. Oh, you're farting.
It's just we've had so many dried meats. You know, it's so.
Tyranny. You've been smelling it for a minute.
So sorry I planted that seed.
You smell a bit of brimstone. There is an unmistakable scent of sulfur. There's an unmistakable scent of a kind of that sharp, acidic iron taste that's either being in a forge somewhere where metal is being worked or the taste of having blood in your mouth.
Coming from the document or just around?
As Wick produces the document, you begin to experience these senses just looking at it, and it's a beautiful vellum scroll. The ink, you can tell, is a slightly altered. It's not raw filament, it's not pure filament, but it has a little bit in it. So there's a slight gleam or glow to the golden text on the parchment. But you're smelling something foul, and you're smelling it. It's something you're attuned to rather than something that's overpowering. Like, you look up at Wick's face and you can tell he's not sensing what you're sensing. You have not yet touched the document. If you wish to touch it, you can inspect it further and see if you can follow up.
I wish to touch the document, and I will also say to Wick that I just remembered something. My sisters are probably close by. The scent of the pit, of me also, the closer we get. And just as you don't know what sort of reaction your family is going to have to your return, I don't know what is waiting for me. Grassroots outreach. That's my best. What am I rolling for to touch and see?
As you take the document, we're going to keep that earlier 19.
Okay.
You take the document, and as you inspect it further, Wick, Tyranny's eyes go jet black.
Oh!
And as you look at it,
Oh!
Tyranny, you hear, "Shut up." You hear the name of your father, your creator. Looking at the document before you, there are words written here in Old Obradimian. There are also, the main body of the text is written in Lungyani. You see that there is a large sort of segment of the scroll, but there's a lot of embossed letters. Like, every beginning of a sentence is like a purely filigreed letter, big and embossed and beautiful, lots of calligraphy. As you stare, some of the letters begin to change color and begin to bleed. They turn a deep, dark red. The letters begin to bleed, and staring forward, you don't believe you're looking at holy orders. You believe you're looking at a contract. And we'll dive into this further on another episode of Critical Role.
Hey everybody, and welcome to tonight's Critical Role Announcement Playhouse. Before we get into our game tonight, we have some announcements to get through. Beginning with our sponsor tonight, Sam, we got eBay Live tonight. What can you tell us?
eBay Live is your destination for discovering and bidding on exclusive finds, from rare trading cards to vintage fashion in real time, along expert sellers and a rad community. With eBay's protections and interactive experience, you'll connect, shop, and win live like nowhere else. Their unbeatable deals, trusted sellers, and celeb hosts make shopping an exciting, one-of-a-kind adventure. Now, speaking of, you guys might not know this, but I am a bit of an expert in antique vases and glassware, and I have one of the most valuable private collections on the West Coast. So tonight, thank you to eBay Live, for the first time ever, I'm going to let the public peek at my collection.
So generous of you. This is actually like really cool though. What's this one?
Oh, good eye, Marisha. That is a Russian imperial ceremonial vase from Tsar Alexander III, commissioned by House Zalakov, the oldest potter in Moscow. It's appraised at $40,000. But I got Travis!
I'm sorry. It was wobbly. I was just trying to steady.
Just don't touch anything. Especially not that one over there.
Why? What's the little greenie?
That's a Sèvres urn made of green uranium glass. It's circa 1870, valued at approximately $100,000. And yes, I found it. Oh, Travis, what are you doing?
I just found this Nerf gun. I was just moving it away. I didn't think it was loaded.
Why, you have amazing aim. Don't do anything, Travis. Especially not around these priceless pieces that I got on eBay Live.
That was such a good shot, though. But
Yes.
what are these pieces that you got on eBay Live?
Well,
What
I got
is
those
this
pieces
collection here?
on eBay Live. Those are ancient Egyptian bullet form alabaster vases from the 3rd Intermediate period. Rare, priceless, and among the most coveted objects in the ancient world.
I like this one.
Travis!
I'm sorry.
Why, Travis?
It's just who I am.
I can't stay mad at you. And besides, I can replace everything over at eBay Live. All right, everybody, break everything. It doesn't matter. Yay! Dive into eBay Live, where excitement meets real-time shopping. Shop exclusive items, interact with trusted sellers, and win big live. Connect instantly with collectors worldwide and join the thrill of live auctions on eBay Live. Marisha, Matt, back smash to you.
This wasn't real uranium glass, right? That'd be really
Yes, it
bad.
is.
One way to find
That
out.
one was real.
Okay.
You probably should not put these in your butt anymore.
Cool. I didn't.
Yep. No.
Next up, a little chat about CRF.
Broke $200,000.
This
I
was
know.
a little better
Mem-
than we found it.
Member of the Critical Role Foundation charity group with me and Ashley. Kirby Winslow, please come out here and tell us a little bit about the live action.
Hi. Speaking of live auctions, the Critical Role Foundation is joining forces once more with our friends at eBay Live for a cause that's close to all of our hearts.
Yes.
Join us April 22nd and 23rd for Shirts Off Sam's Back. An all-night fight against cancer. Yeah. A 24-hour stream where Sam and friends, you'll find out who, will be auctioning off shirts he's worn on Critical Role, like these.
Which will appear on screen.
Oh,
We got it.
We got it!
Get it amongst the rubble.
You remember these?
Like
Do they smell like him?
these.
Maybe. We haven't washed them yet. And these.
go
Yeah, remember these?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah.
This one?
I don't know why is that a good
Yes.
thing?
All will be available. And the stream
And
will
other
end.
stuff, too.
And other stuff too.
And other stuff too.
Yes. The stream will triumphantly end
Make this
in
easy.
a Darrington Brigade one-shot run by a sleep-deprived Sam.
I'm going to stay up all night and then run a one-shot.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. Hopefully. All proceeds will go to our friends at HNC Living and Pavlov. So tune in, enjoy the fun, starting at 7 p.m. on April 22nd.
And
Yeah, thank you.
ending on April 23rd
Yeah.
at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Kirby.
Bye, Kirby.
Taliesin, you got an announcement.
Oh, Weird Kids! Weird Kids is back with brand new episodes exclusively on Beacon starting May 5th. Look forward to new puppet companions? New puppet companions. Fascinating new topics and, of course, fantastic conversations from Ashley and I about growing up in Hollywood and our adventures beyond. In the meantime, you can find previous episodes every week on the Weird Kids YouTube channel and your favorite podcast platforms. And yeah,
Fantastic.
That's what we're doing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Thank you so much, Taliesin. Sam, you got an announcement.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Hi. Our next fireside chat will focus on all things Titmouse Animation. We invited the owner-president of Titmouse Animation and friend of Critical Role, Chris Pronoski, to the tavern.
Chris.
He'll be answering your queries live alongside Josh Knapp, the GM of our new show, Draw Your Weapons. This is all happening live on April 27th at 7 p.m. Pacific and will be available exclusively on Beacon.
Check it out.
Matt?
Actually, Travis, you're up next.
Oh, yes, new in all the Critical Role shops. Oh, thank you, sir. Critical Role wide leg joggers. These unisex wide leg joggers feature an embroidered stripe with the phrases Critical Role and Is It Thursday Yet from hip to toe. These super cozy joggers are available in sizes extra small to 6XL, and they come with pockets, you guys. Drawstring. They're actually really thick and cozy. Check them out now at all the Critical Role online shops. Get yours today.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Travis. I believe that concludes our announcements. So let's go ahead and jump back into our roman.
Schemers! Yeah! Ah!
We return to the depths of the sewers underneath Dol Makyar as our schemers walk forward, boots drenched in the sludge of the city, blades wet with blood of crow keepers and foul fae alike, having rescued Penteveral grad student Demidus Blix from certain death, or worse, at the hands of Crowkeeper, or, if they had their way, House Tachonis, that still desperately, we presume, searches for him. Schemers, you've had a fucking day.
We've got to go to work, and he's got a paper due.
He's got a paper.
You have TAs
No,
or
I
whatever
don't.
to give.
Our entire campaign is going to be 25 hours only.
Yes, you and you alone are doing the Jack Bauer.
Yeah, this is just one season of the pit.
Yeah.
In those shows, I always want someone to turn to camera and be like, every couple of years, I have like the craziest day. After the events of Thiazi's funeral, you all kicked into high gear, having chosen the aviary at the Seven Stars Tavern as your de facto headquarters, where using what chutzpah, cleverness, strength of will, or skill at arms you have, along with the pull you do have at various institutions of the city, decided to try and do something about the sudden grasping clutch of power coming at the hands of the Chamber of Lords Advisory, which is the institution that represents the will of the Sundered Houses here in Dol Makyar. Kicking into high gear, many plans went into work all at once, reaching out to Varen Cadorn and various other veterans of the Falconers Rebellion that you were friends with, making an attempt to use this program to get volunteers from the Penteveral to work at the Arcanaud to give each of you more reason to be working together, trying to slow down this sudden switch of wings being initiated by House Cormoré, and Hal working as best you can after having won the deed entitled for the Hallowed Round to get Kotheri up on its feet. All of these political machinations, by the way, running parallel to whatever bizarre arcane machinations the late Thiazi Fang had as you looked at whatever the fuck this paint was. What was this paint? And the humming magic underneath these murals. Well, there are a million things that work in the city all at once. You've got far too much on your plate. However, Demidus Blix is rescued, having told you all about the attempted cover-up of the slaughter at the Palazzo Davinos, which you are well aware of, having indeed created the illusion of true events, the illusion of the true events of the murder of House Tachonis, though it didn't stick, and the slaughter of those vassals and men-at-arms of House Royce and Davinos at the Palazzo Davinos. Demidus told you all about horrifying things said by Ophelia Saramai, the ministrations of one Trimus Tachonis and different soldiers of the House Tachonis that were there. Various hints about a falcon being brought to Obermis Manor here in Dol Makyar. Certain things about someone saying that they wondered if an Argosian delegation was going to wish well to King Gus, who's now visiting from Timony. So much is going on, but what you do have is a rescued student who has proof positive of betrayal amongst the Sundered Houses. Now, can he be protected long enough, and can that be, who would you present that information?
Exactly.
Right? Many, many questions, but you now walk through shadows together, having succeeded. And Hal, you walk out of the darkness having fundamentally altered your life. You are an adventurer, just like your three companions. No longer the version of you holding a baby, looking at your brother on a horse, is long gone as you exit the shadows. Getting above ground, the question stands here of, will you journey together? Now the streets are much emptier, and you will certainly be seen traveling together if you head off in one direction. You see that Demidus is here with you. Where do you turn as you exit the sewers? Yes.
Quick point of clarification, because we haven't played since yesterday. So I forgot a few details.
No one had to take a sudden and immediate multi-week break. I want to be really clear to everyone at home. Everyone at home, no one had a sudden multi-week break.
It's been 24 hours, so some of the details have fled me. Demidus Blix, you said, has proof. Does Demidus have, is it just his account? Or I can't recall if there was physical, something that definitively proves that there is a cover-up from that gala.
I believe you actually realize that, you only have his account. There are things he can corroborate, but he doesn't have any physical evidence.
We have been building a case.
And we have
physical proof.
Some physical. We do have the ring at the very least, which we should not have.
And you have what you were able to find doing your actual investigation.
Yes.
Right?
We have a half of a glyph that's been erased, but as I introduce it as evidence, along with the drawing of the Stone of Night Song. So I think what Demidus has, standing alone, does not give us physical proof, but it does certainly help a lot, the physical proof that we have manufactured or acquired.
And that's Octus's signet ring that we have.
It's Octus's signet ring. It's a signet ring to House Tachonis.
You all feel a profound level of exhaustion setting in. It is 2:00 in the morning.
Stop trying to relate to me, Brennan.
Yeah, I'm so spent that
method.
In this moment, I'm like, that exhaustion is catching up, and I'm remembering that image of this kind of protector that seemed to step out of me as I cast the shield spell, which is part of why I'm totally depleted. The metamagic that required me to do that, and everything else that I've done has left me completely and entirely spent. I'm useless.
You're not useless.
Well, I am certainly a lot less useful if we were to run into any more trouble. What do we do with, and I gesture at all of the loot that we have?
I'm gonna do a quick scan. Do I see Timolo, the fortune teller?
Yes, Temelo is still posted up in Caravan Hill. You see that she's actually but she's like putting her stuff away. It's become so late that it's sort of starting to be time for her to like pack up into her wagon and like lock the door and go to sleep.
We're past midnight at this point?
Yeah, past midnight.
Okay, but there's still some amount of people.
Yeah, some sort of loud drunks, a few places. You can see that the places that have lights on the outside are closing and people are going off in search of places a little bit more like Potter's Field, places that have doors and hidden areas where they're not going to be able to make any noise that will disturb the neighbors.
Is Timolo seen us?
You can give me a stealth check if you want her to avoid it, but if you want to catch her attention, you're able to.
I feel like I recall, once again, I know this was just yesterday, but I feel like I remember giving her a nice little chunk of change, right, for the information?
Yes, I remember that like it was yesterday.
Okay. I'm just, if I'm kind of watching her, if she happens to, if we meet eyes, I just want to kind of just see if she happens to see us come out.
She makes eye contact with you as you exit. Does a little sleight of hand of sort of fanning the deck of cards from one hand into another, deposits it into a small velvet pouch by her side, and nods, waiting to see if you want to close and engage with her.
I don't want to engage with her, but I just return the nod and just take my index finger and move it over my mouth and just kind of give a light gesture to her to say, like, between you and me, quiet.
She looks at you, and you see with a cantrip that you developed in wizardry, but which has existed amongst the Fae for time immemorial, you hit that message cantrip, and she messages you telepathically and says, "The roosts of Dol Makyar have not known crows in quite some time. This has been a city of magpies for quite a while." And she goes into her wagon, closes the door, and locks it.
I don't acknowledge what she said, but I will respond with the message and just say, I trust you'll keep what you've seen here between you and me.
You don't get a response.
Fair.
I'm going to give our poor boy my cloak so that we have some cover, and it does have a hood, and I'm just going to keep a relatively bland face on at the moment.
You have a glamour going?
I do. Okay. I hate it, but I do.
As you give it to him, I think you make eye contact with Daymond, who has sort of witnessed what has like transpired here in this place, and just looks up at you, folds the cloak, and he's a gnome, so it's, you know, the like your cloak sort of trails behind him.
That's right, he's a tiny one. Well, yeah.
You see that he as you put the cloak on him, he puts it over, you see that he sort of casts Unseen Servant, and a small gust of wind begins to sort of trail your cloak like a wedding dress behind him, like the train of a long gown. And he says, "Thanks for letting me stay with you. I appreciate it."
Oh, we're going to have a lot of work to do, and we're going to have to keep you safe.
Thanks.
You got a good storage closet for the boy?
I have a couch.
He's not going to be able to stay in the city.
Well, we can't get him out of the city, can we?
I'm just saying we're going to need a longer-term plan than this.
We need a proper safe house. We should keep a lookout for something that we can use for that. He's gifted, and we might need all hands.
He's a child, Azune.
He's right there.
He knows he's a child.
I'm an adult.
Your frontal lobe still isn't fully developed. You're still a kid.
He's not that much younger than me.
Well, I don't want to be a bother to anybody. I'm really glad. I tried to get out of the city really fast, and I did it the wrong way, and every horrible thing happened.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, and you need a good night's rest before we can...
Okay.
We all need a good night's rest.
Badly.
Tomorrow, before we leave tonight, what's our plan for tomorrow?
Are you still trying to bury your brother tonight?
Family's probably been waiting there a few hours, yeah. I can tend to that, though.
Okay.
Do you want me to come with you?
Any of you are welcome.
I wasn't at Thiazi's execution. And I was late to the wake, so I'll keep you company on the walk.
Late to the wake.
Murray and Hal head out together. Azune.
I kind of linger with Bolaire and Daymond for a moment. Do you need an escort?
I would not say no to one, and also the poor boy has seen me at my most interesting, so he may decide to take a run for it.
Then I'll escort Bolaire before going home.
Who has the wealth of like magical gear?
Yeah.
I think I do.
Okay.
As you guys walk and converse, I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of stuff to your inventory, okay?
Do. It's dangerous to go alone.
I changed my mind. I go with Murray.
I stab Murray.
I loot Murray's body.
Mine.
Looting your friends. That's deep.
Loot that body. Yoink.
Shout out to Tom.
Flying then, right?
As you head off, you see that there is a sort of silence as Daymond goes. So you're just because we're just gonna be roommates, I look, so it's like something about me is like I snore, or I've been told that I snore. You're like do you have any like needs, or are you a demon? How does it because I noticed that you're a different body than previously.
Yes, that's very complicated.
Okay, better for me not to ask. I'm sorry.
Well, and it's just a lot, and I'm happy to answer quite a few questions after a bit of rest. But no, I'll say we don't have a lot of food back home, but there is a very nice place to get some food in the morning. That's where I can go pick something up and bring it back. Yes, I think everything will be fine, and I wouldn't. If you hear any strange noises coming from the cupboard, we did have a bit of a rat problem at one point. I have nothing going on. It's fine. This is odd. I know. I'm trying to make it amusing, and it's not.
I don't have any problems because you saved my life. So but I guess I would just say is if I'm ever doing something that you feel like is gonna make you want to kill me, take my body over, you just let me know. I'll stop whatever I'm doing.
Well, that's good because I do have a list.
Is that a joke?
That is definitely
Okay, sorry. Funny. funny?
I've never had to do this before. It's very odd.
Have a sense of humor?
Oh, I mean,
Me neither.
I should take you over. I don't even bloody know.
I was just speaking for myself.
And hey, if you have a rat problem, I can make a bunch of cats. Not real.
Oh, God.
But rats won't know.
Oh, God. I will say no magic for just a little while, although I'm going to give you a pen and paper in the morning, and you're going to write down as much as you can remember.
Great. Oh, yeah.
There will be coffee and tea and things to eat, and you will sit and not make noise, which I know is very difficult for you. Honestly, it's one of the things that I find most charming about you, but for just a moment, we're going to have to be subtle.
You see Daymond sort of looks out blankly, kind of the adrenaline crash and like the trauma is sort of hitting. So he goes, okay, no noise. And you see that his nose unfurls and goes, like a little party blower.
Oh.
And he goes, that's my last one. Last one, okay.
As we get closer...
I get nervous, I'm sorry.
It's all right, I just have a migraine. Somebody's screaming in my head right now.
Oh.
Go on.
At that, he gets truly quiet and just walks alongside you.
As we get closer, before I leave you, and I'm kind of observing this, I stop you from leaving, Bolaire. It's one thing I want to say to you before we leave each other tonight. And I step very close. And I'm just scanning every centimeter of your mask.
I'm very hard to read.
I'm not trying to read you like that. I think I owe you an apology. The other day I looked at you and I didn't mean to try to mend your face. I saw it made you uncomfortable and we stopped, but now I'm seeing this in a different way. And the nicks, the scratches, the marks that are on you, that is the story of how life has happened to you. I would never want to erase that.
You know, there's a philosophy amongst curators at museums. It's a debate when dealing with history and things that have survived history, things that are important, is when we show them to people, do we make them pristine or do we let them show where they've been? Do you leave, at what point do you leave graffiti on a wall because the graffiti is important? Do you clean a sword or do you leave the stains on it, the nicks and scratches? And they're perfectly reasonable arguments in both ways, and very few people are steadfast one way or the other. It tends to be in degrees. And the wisest of curators, I feel, can listen to an artifact and see what it wants to present, and can see if it wants to show its glory or show its history and where it's been and its scars. Like veterans. Sometimes you want to pretend you're one thing and not another. I don't have much, but I have a face and I have a name. And that is why I have not given those two things up. That is why I wear this as opposed to hiding it, which I could. And I could have a fake name if I so desired, but no, these are mine. The scars are mine. And I appreciate that. It's better than an apology. Delightful wisdom. I appreciate it.
Bolaire, do you think of yourself as a thing or a person?
I am a thing.
Can you be both?
No. But I can dream, and I can live in a dream, not a wish. I can be a story. And a story, honestly, is better than being a person.
Maybe.
I think so, from at least witnessing all of this. And until recently, it was just a better story every day. We'll see where we go.
Well, take care of that kid. Get some rest.
Thank you for everything.
Of course. Thank you, too. You had my back.
Always. You're a good man. That's rare.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
You part ways, and as you get up to your apartment, Azune, you have your long way back to your dwelling place, and Bolaire, getting into your apartment, you see quiet. Daymond looks up and says, I know you said no magic. Can I cast one ritual, if that's okay?
You asked, so sure.
He begins to lay out a small ritual circle, doing this sort of wizardly magic. This, you can see, does not look like an illusion, but you can see that he's doing the spell very carefully, pentavral magic, calls it, and small creature appears in front of him, and you see a tiny, dappled chameleon walk out, and he goes, "There you are, bud. Hey!" As he resummons his familiar.
Oh.
And you see he goes, "This is Figment."
Excellent name.
Thanks. I call him Figment because he's not real, but he doesn't let that get him down.
Some of my favorite things aren't real.
No, I like that. The cool thing about not being real is that you can kind of be whatever you want.
I knew there was a reason why I liked you. A quick secret. I just thought you should know.
Yes.
I'm not real either.
I don't know about that, because you're real nice.
So
let me stay here.
So is Figment.
Hey, thanks. If you have any bugs, he loves to eat bugs.
Oh, I think there's a few. I don't clean as often as I should in the kitchen. There's blankets over there. The couch is extremely comfortable, so I'm told.
You see, he goes, great, and wanders off. Hal and Murray, you ascend up above the rookery. At the top of the rookery, looking out, you can see that the River Brightbrook unfolds here. My little map in front of me. And you see up above Brightbrook, there is a beautiful old orcish cemetery on the mountainside there. You see that there are a number of sort of headstones here that are kept in this place, and you can see that the headstones all are relatively newer druidic headstones that commemorate and honor the life of the people here, and there are small prayers in Rungyani inviting them to see the world again as many times as they wish, to come back in a new life and a new guise. The slant of the cemetery is it's almost at like a 45-degree angle, like the sort of soft soil or earth on this particular mountainside. You can see that there are a lot of stone kind of slabs over it because it's hard to dig that deep into the rocky soil here in this space. Murray, you accompany him all the way up the mountainside?
If it's all right with you, I don't want to intrude.
Well, I think we're breaking records for fast-tracking acquaintance to co-conspirator. But my brother believed in you, I believed in my brother. And right now I really need to reinforce that there is good in the world. And I choose to see the good in you that he saw. So thanks, pal. Give her a little whoop on the shoulder. God, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Arriving at the cemetery, you see that the larger grounds are actually sort of behind an iron gate that's wrought here. You can see the handiwork of the Lloy family in creating this kind of structure around this large cemetery. However, there is an older area way up on top of Promontory where your father is buried, sort of outside of that main cemetery. And as you go to that outer promontory, you see that there's a small, humble little lantern, and you can see next to it, there are some figures under blankets that have fallen asleep here, leaning against a headstone. You see there's a sort of fresh dug grave that is still open. There is a wagon with a body wrapped on it. Leaning against the back of the headstone, there are two young women, Shadia and Hero, who are sort of asleep, heads on each other's shoulders. And you see seated on the back of the wagon, keeping watch but has fallen asleep on his fists, is Olgood. So he's sort of got like a little small like cane or cudgel in his...
Very gently rest my hand on his forearm and say, quietly, "What's good, Olgood?"
Keeping watch. Got the drop on me.
I tried to do that as gently as possible.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Thank you. Thank you for getting them here.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, should we want to wake up the girls?
Yeah, I'll get them. Don't need to drag this out too long. I'll kneel down by Elodie, actually, and gently wrestle her awake.
Sorry, Hero.
Well, Elodie, did he just get the girls?
He just got the girls.
Oh, then it's Hero.
Yeah. You see, Olga just got there. You maybe were anticipating Elodie being here, but you don't see her here right now.
Okay. Hey, kiddo. Hey.
Hey, Dad.
Hey.
She gets up. Shadi gets up. Hey, Dad. Give you a hug, and you see Shadi looks over and says, "Oh, Professor Magnuson, hi."
Hi, I'm starting to wonder if it's appropriate for me to be here.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I just wanted to make sure your father got here safely with everything that's been going on.
And Miss Magnuson was a good friend of your uncle's, so she didn't get a chance to give her goodbyes at the house.
It got kind of crazy at the house.
Yes, it did.
My mom got drunk with a demon.
Yes, she did.
She is set in her ways.
You see Shadia shrugs. And you see that she reaches down and takes out some little small beeswax candles and hands a little candle over to you.
Thank you.
And you see she looks up at her dad waiting for you to speak.
Right. Well, Marie, I want to at least give you the opportunity. Did you have anything you wanted to say? No pressure. No pressure.
Oh, yeah. I think that I would have had time to think about this. I didn't go to the execution. And I am ashamed to say that's because I knew deep down inside how it was going to turn out. I didn't have hope. I didn't want to see that as the final moment. Imprinted on my brain of Thiazi. And that's something I've been wrestling with. A sense of betrayal and not hoping. And not being an optimist. Even though I was right. But I think Thiazi had hope. Not in his own fate. I think deep down inside he knew. He knew that his past was going to catch up to him one way or another. But he had hope in us. Had hope in his nieces and nephew. He had hope in the people around him. And that's a damn good legacy to leave into this world. And I only hope that maybe I can live up to that. We can live up to that. And, follow in his footsteps. Just hopefully not to the grave. Sorry. I'm sorry. I think the exhaustion is getting to me. You go.
I could just draw my daughters in and stand over his resting place. And even though it is well past midnight, from the sparse lights throughout the city, I look out at the rookery below us. And I can see out in the dark, just barely, where the Lloy home rests. Where the edge of the city goes to complete darkness, blanketing the hallowed round. You ranged the world over. But you were born of Dol Makyar. Its forests sheltered you. Its rocky climbs strengthened you. And its streets imparted unto you its lessons. Hard-earned. Held long. Heart of the rebellion. The Rungyani welcome you home. Here may you keep your final watch. Brother of mine. And I give my two girls a tight squeeze and then drop my arms and pick up the shovel lying on the ground and go to the work of burying my brother.
Returning that embrace, your daughters stand back, You take the shovel silently. All good. Takes one more. Body is interred. White sheet. All of the little glass gems, the bright and shiny, inexpensive jewelry that was given to him at his wake. Small flowers adorning the wrapped body as the soil of your homeland covers your brother.
Once the soil is packed in, Marie runs her finger across the flickering candle, captures a little mote of light in her hand. A little gust from her breath. That light scatters into gentle fireflies that just blanket his grave.
You spend your time here in reverent silence, looking at the beauty of this place where he is finally laid to rest.
Fucker's got the best view in the city.
Money can't buy everything.
Don't tell the Sundered Houses that.
You remain here for as long as you need. Hal, as the impact hits you, there is no more work to be done. This last ritual completes it. And whatever feelings were not laid to rest here, there will be no more ceremony to resolve. They will merely follow you into the waking days of the rest of your life. Shadia lays a hand in between your shoulder blades, puts a head on your shoulder, tears stream with ease down her cheeks. Hero squeezes your hand. Bye, Uncle Thiazi. And in the wee hours of the morning, tears are shed, goodbyes are said, and you walk away as the last arcane fireflies descend and land on this grave under the boughs of an old, hardy pine overlooking the great city of Dol Makyar, whose fate rests in your hands. Morning comes the following day. And in so doing, we find ourselves looking at those of you who have much work before you. As this new day arrives, all of you are beyond exhausted. Go ahead and take a long rest if you would be so Yay!
Goodbye, temporary hit points.
Goodbye, temporary hit points.
I can see you most of all.
Bring him back to me.
I don't even remember where the button for this is. It's been so long. It's here somewhere.
And whatever we got from aid is gone too. But I get a rock inspiration.
Question.
Yes.
One of my abilities is after you finish a short or a long rest, you can play a song that gifts two allies heroic inspiration.
Yes.
Might you, DM, consider our closing words to Thiazi a short rest?
Sure, I will
for
consider.
me to give Marie a heroic inspiration.
Marie, you have heroic inspiration. Absolutely.
What is that, a D6 for you?
No, that's a D20
It's a reroll.
It's a reroll.
Of any die.
Yep.
A D20 reroll. You also, I think, in this moment, you reroll your portent as well.
Yep.
That's important.
That's important. important. It is finally the following day. As all of you awaken.
This is a new campaign, right?
This is a new campaign. What'd you get?
I rolled my fuck me, fuck you die, and I got a fuck me, so that's a natural 1.
Natural 1 is incredible.
Yeah, so I can use it. It's not bad.
Yeah, you
so
can
that's
really
a good because I
ruin
can give
somebody's
that
day.
in a 7. So this is more of a fuck you kind of a day.
Yes.
She woke up and chose violence.
I woke up and it shows legit. Murray wakes up and
Peace
she's
was
like,
never the answer.
"Motherfuckers."
Yeah.
Incredible.
Goose.
As you all awaken that day, you have had some wild adventures. However, there is a lot of like work ahead of you here because you've all sort of vanished the day before, with some exceptions. Like you did work at the Plaza Davinos. What I would like to put before all of you is essentially like a skill check for going out and doing the things you have to do. You're a few days away from opening night of the play. I will go ahead and ask for a skill check from each of you, basically going and doing your job. And I will allow you to add some D4 to the roll. You may add 1 D4 to the roll if you extend the skill check over multiple days. Meaning like it represents 2 days of effort or 3 days of effort rather than a single day of effort. Right?
Okay.
Got it.
But that following morning, what do you guys get up to? You have your standing meeting at the aviary like that evening, presumably.
Yeah, so I owe Dean Cora my 5 student picks from these internship submissions. We established in previous games that Hero was not in that stack.
Hero was not in that stack.
I'm gonna do a little bad. I'm gonna do a little baddie.
Okay.
And I would like to forge a submission form from Hero.
Hell yes.
Because I want to put her forward. So I slip Hero in this pool, despite Murray fully knowing that I don't think Hal would like this.
Are you a forger? Do you have this power? Like, or are you just going for it?
I'm just going.
Okay, just curious.
Okay, I'm going to need, I do not believe you have this proficiency. I've been wrong in the past, but I don't believe you do.
I don't believe I do.
You do not. So this is going to be a flat dexterity check.
You do have a reroll.
I do have a reroll.
Or you could choose the fuck me die. Destroy everything.
And destroy, no. My dex is not great because I am top heavy.
It's just the image just happens.
I love the idea of you holding a pen and being like, whoa. Whoa.
Murray wobbles.
Whoa.
But you don't fall
Out of the
down.
way. Okay.
If a sneeze, it's over.
Okay, it's not great. I'm gonna use my reroll.
All right, here we go. Here's our reroll.
Come on.
It's worse.
Copy that. Copy that.
It's worse. I have to use the reroll, right?
Yeah, I believe so, right? Or what has heroic inspiration?
You reroll immediately, and you must use the new roll.
Yep.
Great.
So that's a 4.
That's a 4. Great. You create a stunning forgery of Hero Diamond's application.
Great.
Do you submit that along with sort of 4 others that feel fine? Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I want very mid students.
Great. You put them on Dean Cora's desk.
Okay.
Perfect. What else do you get up to that day? Before your check-in at the 7 Stars.
For my check-in, I think I am. I think Murray does a lot in terms of making herself very seen in the Pentevril today.
Great.
popping into a lot of classrooms, checking in, walking into the teacher's lounge kind of a thing. Like, I think she's getting caught up on all of the work that she's been missing, but I think she's like, she put on some red lipstick and she put on her power heels and she's like boss bitching around the Pentevril today, to a point of where if anyone knew what she was actually doing, like if you knew, it would almost seem borderline performative in the fact that she is like being that scene and she goes around her daily duties with just a good energy.
Give me a we don't have this in 5e. They used to have it in 3.5. It was called profession. But go ahead and just give me intelligence plus proficiency as you do your job and try to make like show face.
Okay.
Profession check.
Okay. 16,
great. It seems like a good old day for Murray the Bursar, and you're running around doing your thing here. You do not run into Dean Cora at all today, which is a little bit frustrating because she was like, I need those on my desk, end of day. And now it's like, I don't have time to get to this until the next week.
Yeah.
And you're like, so what was the end of day about?
4,
If you don't look at it till next week, why didn't I have until next week? You know. But I know you out there feel my pain. So with that, you conclude your day, or your day is showing face. You're doing a great job at the Pentevril.
Yes.
You know, it's tense because people know that there's this big change with the Tachonis and the Cormorant, but seeing your face gives a lot of people hope and a good feeling, right? Although the news of Demidus's disappearance is kind of spreading through the school, as people like wonder where he is. Like it's gone from being absent to being like, where the fuck is he?
Could I like, if I hear any type of like whispers about that, like students gossiping in the hall, I'm just like, he's got the flu, and then keep going.
Okay,
like
yeah.
kind of make, like if I hear anything, it's like he's a little sick.
Yeah. Do you want to say that definitively, like you know that to be true, or are you saying it as like a probably?
Probably sick.
Great. Give me a deception check.
That's
Cocked.
cocked. Very cocked.
Okay. 15.
15. Great. For Azune, what are you getting up to this next day?
I mean, I start I start my mornings. I'm very much sticking to my routines. I get up in the same way. I wash up the same way. I put the arcane martial get up on in the same order, and I go to the Falcon's Rest like I do every morning, and I just do a scan to see if Varen is there.
You do a scan to see if Varen is there. Varen is not there this morning.
Kind of expected him not to be. So I will try to leave him something. I'm gonna take a torch that's I have as part of my gear. I'm gonna plant it near where I know he goes to kind of do his remembrance. And I'm gonna light a fire. And I'm going to control flames, put a couple images in it. A falcon.
Cool.
And 7 stars.
Great.
And the sun setting.
Great. Perfect. Hell yes. Go ahead and give me a profession check for just doing your rounds that day.
Okay. Is this...
This would be, I think, your, like, probably your spell casting ability plus your proficiency.
Great. Is this something that I can guidance myself on if I'm intentional?
Yeah, I think if you're intentionally doing it, you can do that.
My guidance gives me a 3. Plus my spell casting, that's a 25.
25, damn.
18 plus 4 plus 3.
You're just hitting your rounds that day, following the Palazzo Davinos. Lord Einfossen is not in today, so he's not in today, so you have a lot more free reign. It seems like he's one of the problems of these grasping, power-hungry maniacs is that the more you try to control everything, the less time you have.
Oh, right.
Just bandwidth is real. So you can see because of the things you discovered yesterday at the Palazzo Davinos, he can't have Revolutionary Guard hat on today. He needs to have Einfassen hat on.
Einfassen hat on. Yeah, got it.
What's that, Mercer?
So, you were like, yeah, are you a band with the dread? I was like,
That's crazy.
why am I, I just, don't look at me.
Don't perceive me.
Oh, look at this map of Dol Makyar.
Lieutenant Il Cassare.
Yeah.
Is he? As I'm doing my job, I just want to observe him. I just want to get a read on him, what his demeanor is.
Give me an insight check.
Okay. That is a 9.
You've known this guy for a long time. Your opinion about him is the same as you read him last time. Mm-hmm. You suspect that he is not a hardliner or a zealot. He's not someone who's like, yes, the Einfassen, but he is someone who fundamentally has a low opinion of the people of Dol Makyar. Mm-hmm. He is someone for whom he is genuinely, I don't think you get any new information from yesterday, essentially. Okay. The things you saw yesterday, which is that he had no care or regard for Misha Undragor because he fundamentally sees the Revolutionary Guard as the good guys, and therefore Dol Makyar, rather than being the city that he's protecting, is the enemies arrayed against the Brethren Hall.
Yeah. I think it also, I can't get out of my head the pain that he caused Hal and Murray and how he treated the Arcanist, Misha. I go about my day.
Great. You go about your day doing your job, Bolaire.
Well, I'm going to head to the museum and begin the process of instilling discord. It is the day to close the museum for the foreseeable future while the collections are, or at least the Lloyd Wing collection is cataloged, referenced, and then brought to its new home. Mm-hmm. We have new people showing up, I believe. You sent us over a few, will they be sending?
Cora gets to it.
Okay.
It's on her desk. It's out of my hand.
Well, in that case, the first order of business, if I show up, I'm going to be taking at least 3 people I trust, and I suppose Mr. Dunn, who normally does the archaeological work, I'm going to need you to start in the north corner section. We're going to be doing a curatorial referencing system by hand, set up by battle and historical preference for these artifacts. Dr. Anazella, you'll be taking the west end of our section, and it'll be taxonomic by object, type, and reference. If it doesn't have it, just wing it. Ms. Corella, educational subclasses for everything that's left over. If you end up mixing and matching a bit, well, these things happen. I figure 3 different organizational systems that have nothing to do with each other should be delightfully fun. You'll each be getting some help coming in the next couple days. They're young, impressionable, and I will have no idea just how absolutely fucked this is going to be. And use your own handwriting. You don't have to be particularly clear. And, we're going to need to hide. Have we already dealt with the swords?
You see, this would be... I think this would be Rosadella.
Okay, yes.
Who says, we can. Would you like us to... and you see she looks at you and says, we're happy to make happen whatever needs to happen.
We're going to be a little bit more cautious. I would like, as quickly as possible, to have all of the swords in individual crates set up against the wall right over there. And I point to where, very, very near my little hidden office. And then all of our display pieces next to them, properly labeled. Actually, on second thought, make sure that those labels are very close to the same thing.
Go ahead, if you'd be so kind, and give me a deception check. Or forgery, if you prefer.
I don't know what my forgery is. I'm so curious. Let me take a look. Where would I find that?
It would be in one of your proficiencies.
Tools, alchemist supplies, calligrapher's supplies. Calligrapher's supplies.
I would do calligraphers if you want.
Yeah, calligraphers. Sure. So that would be a D20 for.
I believe this would be intelligence plus proficiency. So this would be +6.
So, which is the same as my deception, I believe. So, come on, be cool. That is 15.
A 15. You begin the process of creating this extremely elaborate cataloging system. As you shut the museum down, are you doing this basically in advance of the Cormorant shutting it? Like you're shutting it down early, essentially?
We've shut it down that day. Everything is closed.
Great.
Because we need to start the work. I want to make sure that I have cases so that I can personally switch the swords in a way that nobody else has to know where they are, so that no one has to lie, so that I can move these around and play the three cups in a ball game.
Gorgeous.
And I'm also going to start forging a document.
Great.
So.
Incredible. You want to give me that forgery check?
Yeah. Can I get No, I don't get a bonus for that. That's just a +6, isn't it? Come on. I need this.
+6
I need this.
is so good.
Yeah.
Good about.
I know. That's not bad. 14.
14? Great. For the 14 forgery check, you begin to forge a document. What does the document say?
It's a document that it implies that in the event that the museum takes down the display, the swords go back to the Lloyd family since they are their property. This was on loan.
Yes.
So this was clearly doesn't belong to us.
Yeah.
So once I have that forged, I'm going to place it on my desk, and then I'm going to move the real swords. I'm going to package them and get them out of there, is my plan.
Perfect.
Before switching. No switching. Everything's going to be in its proper role.
Flurry of activity. The Lloy wing is filled with robed archivists and an armada of index cards and ink. Hal, what are you up to today?
Well, I think I do the only thing I can do when the world is so fucked, which is throw myself entirely into my work. I go into full producer mode. So I let Allgood sleep in because he was so hard at work last night, faithfully as ever. I track down Nevada Anza, Grand Dame of the theater, who is directing Kotherai. I touch base with her, hear her concerns, make suggestions, and I will tell her that the theater would be lost without her and give her a bardic inspiration in saying so, as that reverberates through the base of her skull. I will spend time with Edar Gorin, who is the first position in the theater's chorus, to see how they are coming with their choreo. I will spend time with Lash, our young leading man, who's playing Merzat in the production, and see where he is in his journey from yesterday, where he was struggling a bit. I will then double back to Allgood and go over the books and make sure that sales are going okay and that we're not falling behind or going into the red in all of that. And then I will probably close out the day by walking around the city for a few hours with Shadia, putting up, pasting up slips, advertisements for the first time for this play and touring the entire city. In doing so, and always in between conversations with 100 people, whenever there is a quiet moment, I am behind the smile and the comforting presence to so many others, am in the back of my mind thinking of Thaisha out in the world, my son out in the world. I'm thinking of Azune in tears in my home in front of me. I am thinking of Murray, new ally and friend, cracking a bit on the hill in the night and fireflies in the dark. I am thinking about a sword going through some stranger's chest in the sewers underneath the city. I am thinking of a mask that is my friend and the distant echoing song of something very, very powerful and old. And I am thinking of Thimble kneeling at my brother's side in my home, and I am thinking of my brother as the dirt covers his face.
Those images, every time you get a quiet moment, so often as Shadia tumbles through a square, erupting in juggling balls and ribbons as the rest of the Barker crew comes out, announcing to everybody, Kotherai, opening night of the hallowed round, come see the People's Amphitheater. It's a blast of fire. Revolution, betrayal, wonder, heroism, a tale for the ages. And you see just excitement, and images flash over and over again. Give me a performance check, if you'd be so kind. And I'll say you're trying to hit a 15, you'll get an added benefit if you hit a DC 20, and an extra added benefit if you hit a DC 25.
That is garbage. That is
All
garbage.
good?
That is garbage.
Hard to put on a happy face.
I thought it might be persuasion, but it wasn't.
It wasn't performance.
Is there anything I can do for myself? There's not.
I'll
It's
remind you
not.
that you can add D4 to the roll by adding on extra days, but that's up to you.
Well, I think I probably would be in producer mode. I don't know
Yeah.
what's to come in this coming week.
That's
but
true.
This is the whole week. I would say I would be doing all of this stuff for 3 days if I don't die. 3 days from now.
I assume you would give me a list of some things you wanted from the museum before I locked it out, and you, like, anything you want for the show, now is the time to ask.
Yeah.
So that I can grab it now before it turns into a giant pile of something.
I'll say too, for those of you, if anything you guys do in this first day today, like now, Murray, you have left these. That's on Cora's desk. You had the roles you had. But for Bolaire and Hal, if you don't want to submit that document yet, and if you don't want to sort of submit that role yet, we can roll again to add to that a little bit more tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, because I would love to bring as much stuff that you need over as soon as possible. So
Well, because the total on this is a 9, which is awful.
Yeah.
And because he absolutely would be doing this for days,
Yeah.
I will hold off on. And
Great.
so what do I mark that 9?
Mark that
in
9
limbo?
down for me. Mark that 9 down for me if you'd be so kind. Or we can just take the 9 right now and see what that results in. If you would like to roll a new roll tomorrow.
this is somehow crueler. This is so cruel.
It's cruel.
Break.
Melt down in the town square.
Can he bleed?
All right, well, let's look at it this way. What a fucked day yesterday was. Give me the 9.
Give you the 9. You're exhausted. This deed coming through, this would have been a good idea if now almost 3 weeks ago that this all came through, you've been able to solely focus on this. The 2 weeks of the beginnings of rehearsals, you were at the Grey Tower in the Chamber of the Lord's Advisory every day trying to save your brother's life. This thing has been lost. It's lost. The performances are great. Everything else is great, but everything you've seen in micro is working. But for it to all come together, oh boy, doesn't feel good. The left hand does not know what the right hand is doing, and as the slips start to go up, you wonder if it's all going to come together in time. That night, it's a mystery. At the Seven Stars that evening, you guys all come together after a day's work and find yourselves upstairs. Drinks and food in front of you again.
I haven't put a morsel in my belly all day.
Yeah, me neither.
I've been eating. I eat a lot.
I bought food for the boy. He's busy composing what I hope to be as a delightful document for us. I actually suggested to him that he write it as a play. I might get the wheels moving a little more clearly.
Tell them to put together a pitch.
You know what always helps me, though? A little bit of larceny therapy, and I pull out this small charm necklace.
Yeah.
That we got from the Thieves Guild. And I'm going
From
to...
House Claire's. My God.
I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna cast.
Sorry, thank you.
I'm gonna cast Identify as a ritual.
Love it.
And figure out what this amulet is that we yoinked.
Incredible. If you want to take a moment to cast Identify on all the loot you got, we can call that what you are doing.
Yeah.
We said the first hour of dinner is just you going over all this shit.
Like shake out the bag,
Oh, wow. So
stack up the runes.
that's a whole line of rituals. So we're like we're refilling your glass, we're fetching food for you
Yes.
because you're at work for an hour at the table here.
I don't even have to eat. I'm just nervous eating through this. Oh, it's like popcorn.
Like Cookie Monster, and you're just pressing.
It goes in there. It goes in there. I have a mouth underneath this.
Incredible. As you begin to research this stuff, you take the charm necklace first. As you identify it, you begin to pull the strands together. This necklace, you can see, is an ancient fairy charm. But you can see a lot of why this stuff got left here in this sort of like rogues meeting point was a lot of this stuff was only going to be effective put to spellcasters, right? The charm necklace, you can see the jangling sort of fairy charms along it that are all these different sort of beast shapes, like a little deer, like a sort of a small like ivory hind, and there's a little gray rabbit, a small red swallow, like all these little birds sort of around it, and animals and things like that. The jangling charms have a place for a spell to be cast within it. The nature of the charm is that it has a function. When attuned to, the charm will rattle and jangle if you are being scryed on, if you are being divined on, if someone's using a spell on you, it will let you know that that is happening. Now, it's not as powerful as non-detection because it can't prevent it. However, the receptacle for a spell to go in here can accept an illusion spell that can fool a particular type of divination. So in other words, though it cannot necessarily stop all divination, you could potentially put an illusion spell in here, and if that illusion was like a change, like a disguised self spell, it might allow a divination to actually pull up the disguise, right, and read that as being truth. So you can load a little illusion in here to fool certain kinds of divination magic.
Right, so like jamming the airwaves kind of a vibe.
A little jamming the airwaves kind of vibe.
But you have to pick the right code
Yes.
to keep out malware.
Yes, you have to kind of figure out what you think you're likely to get picked up on. So for example, if the thing you were really worried about was like, oh, paladins are going to use their divine sense to tell that I'm a fairy or a demon, you could put a disguise self spell of a normal person, and they maybe would pick that up as that. And the charm would still jingle to let you know that you were being divined against.
Trip the firewall.
Trip the firewall.
Okay.
The four potions are 4 potions of healing.
4 potions of healing.
4 potions of healing, very useful. And you have these small little pouches of gemstones.
Yes.
As you pull them out, Ms. Magnesson, you recognize these very, very well. You think these maybe got stolen from the Penteveral.
Okay.
These are metamagic gems. All of them are. So first of all, number one, they're gems. They're quite expensive.
Yeah.
You can do cool stuff with them. They're worth a lot. Number two, they are consumables. They can be crushed as a. The gems can be crushed as a material component of a spell and have their energy consumed into the spell. The effects that they have are different, and they are associated with various schools of magic. I'll go ahead and bring up what their effects are. The effects are very minor, but the thing is you don't need an action to trigger them. It's part of the material component of a spell casting, essentially. So it adds a little bit more kick to a spell.
Wow. You have to snort the gem, though. One more ruby.
Runs out fast, though.
Yeah. That's 6 seconds.
You're supposed to pulverize it first.
What?
I'm
so sorry.
What'd you say?
I don't.
You can see that there are a small number here. One of the little satchels has 3 Voker's gems in them. A Voker's gem basically grants advantage on an evocation spell that has a single target. So if you're making an attack roll with an evocation spell, this will give you advantage on that attack roll. And on the roll of a natural 20, the target is knocked back 15 feet. You have there is a pouch with 2 Viner's gems in it. These can be used in casting a divination spell, and if done so, you gain advantage on your next initiative roll before a long rest. As sort of the gem adds this heightened level of awareness around you. You see that there are several others of these gems. There are Muter's gems, Mancer's gems, Juror's gems. I'll add the correct amounts into your inventory so we don't have to do all this accounting.
So there's multiple of each?
Multiple of each.
Oh, we get to do a little. We get to do a little divvy.
We get to do a divvy.
I love a divvy.
Yeah,
Who's getting the rural
party.
juror?
The rural juror. The rural juror. Of these various ones, there are some that have a little bit flashier powers than others. The Juror's Gem, for example, just gives you the advantage on the next saving throw before a long rest if you do it as part of an abjuration spell. Probably the flashiest one of them would be the Muter's Gem, which is if you use it as part of a transmutation spell that targets a single creature, if that creature either fails its saving throw or willingly allows itself to be affected by the spell, it gains one of the following until the end of your next turn, which is a climb or swim speed equal to its walking speed, a fly speed equal to half its walking speed, or its speed is reduced by half. So all of these are basically add-ons to spells that you might want to cast. They're sprinkles for spells, and by putting them on there has to be a little bit of guesswork in what's going to be useful. However, you wonder if these were taken for their metamagic effects, or
just a pretty bag of gems.
Just a pretty bag of gems. Because what you do see is you have these 40 blank spell slates.
Yes.
This is the big ticket item because you think the reason these gems are here is because these gems, if you don't want to use them for their other abilities, can be ground up into the ink and imbued onto these spell gems, right? The way that the spell glyph, sort of the blank slates of the spell glyphs work, is they can only be imbued with spells that have a sort of range and area of self. Misty Step, See Invisibility, things like that, right? Because the way it works is you don't even need to be a caster to use them. You can just break a spell glyph. So that gives you a very limited, like the glyph can't do anything like pick a target, right? It needs to be like no fuss, no muss. It's a self-cast spell. When you break it, the spell goes into effect on the person who broke it, right?
I have an out of game question that I'm going to put gonna off camera one, so I'm just putting about how this works.
Gotcha. Okay. These gems would probably go like 1-to-1 per spell level into putting a spell into these blank slates. Okay. So a more powerful spell would take more of these gems going into it. And you still need someone capable of casting the spell. You need the spell slot to go into it.
So we need the gems ground up, and that becomes part of the component that draws out the glyph.
Yeah.
And someone that knows that spell.
To be able to draw it into, and then someone with like the actual like proficiency, like you probably need someone with proficiency in calligrapher's supplies, grinding up these gems into a special magical ink, and then you need someone who can cast the spell.
Who knows the spell?
Crap. So is it correct to infer that these bag of gems they got, and then they realized, oh, they're metamagic gems, so they're not really useful for what we need?
A bunch of rogues would have no use for these metamagic gems because they can't do anything on their own. You need to add them into a spell you're casting.
But like we could put spells into these and then give them to people who can't cast, or so like anybody could use them if they're just willing to snap the cookie in half.
Yep.
All right.
That's good.
That's awesome. That's really awesome.
That's good.
We'll talk on the break.
Yeah, we'll talk on break.
We'll talk on the break. I got some thoughts.
And so just so I'm sure, these gems can only do what those gems say they can do, or can we use that and have that help us craft a spell that we know onto a glyph?
Oh yeah, it's any spell we know.
It's any spell we know?
That's a self.
Oh, okay,
any spell you know that is a range or area of self,
can
be put into one of these glyphs.
Using the dust from these gems.
Yes.
So you lose the range attack against an enemy doesn't work.
Yeah.
This is just a.
Yep.
Cool.
But then the gems, if we grind up the gems, they would use their metamagic components.
Got it.
Right?
Correct. So basically, you happen to know that these gems are very useful to spellcasters. To these rogues, the gems are just useful because you can make the spell ink out of them and make these glyphs.
Got it.
Right? Yeah. They're not using them for their innate properties. They're using them for the raw magic getting broken down. They want to shop them into making these spell glyphs.
They need more steps in order to be able to use it at all.
Yes.
Okay.
At the end of the hour, there's a bunch of plates of empty food, and Murray, you're like with all of the new magic items that you guys have in this moment.
Oh, this is what a palette.
Right.
I'll say too, you are looking at in front of you. Yes, there's all this magic. These gems can do some cool shit. That could be the difference between life and death. Some of these like little additive effects on normal spellcasting. You're also looking at thousands of gold pieces worth of value.
Yeah.
Between the gems and the charm and the blanks and everything else like that. They're and especially when talking about like this sort of like fired Revolutionary Guard, people like that. So there is perhaps the greatest magic of all is feeding people.
Funds.
Yeah, his funds,
Okay.
It's offensive amounts of money.
It is. So we have some thinking to do about how we utilize these newfound resources.
We'll talk at the break.
Speaking of these spell glyphs, do we have another meeting with Oris Blade in the works? It's probably getting late for that, but something to think about for the next day, perhaps?
Yeah, I think we should definitely take a little factory tour. With the hand and wheel.
And is there a guild, a merchant's guild? I suppose that's something, if I don't know, it's something to ask him. Because they have a dog in this fight that's upcoming.
If I don't know it, then Elodie would.
Okay. I have a list.
You have a list?
I always have a list.
That's very good.
But before I get into the list of ideas that I have for what we might do next, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Well, the show was important. I would love a list of what you would like from the museum before everything goes to chaos. I'm happy to grab anything you need. Anything. The paperwork no longer really matters at this point. And we have that box that has been gnawing at the back of my head.
I was almost gonna hope that you would bring it here.
I can do that. I can definitely do that. That sounds dangerous and reckless and probably the best option, the box.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think... Yeah, how's the museum these days? Is it safe to do anything like that at your place?
I'm currently calling it the circumlocution wing. It's a disaster. It is incomprehensible, pure chaos and madness. It's just delightful. Anything dangerous is being very well hidden in a sea of poorly written paperwork.
Sounds like a beautiful piece of abstract art.
It is the abstract art of hiding value.
Did the Cormorants give you any type of timeline? Did they push a deadline on you?
They said very, very fast. They didn't say anything specific, although they did say money is no object. And so I'm using the speed at which we're moving things forward as a general disguise for just creating chaos. The faster they do it, the more it's a mess. I'm just encouraging it.
Is there any use in squeezing a little bit more gold from that stone?
Oh, yes. Anything you can think of. That's really not my specialty, but you clearly are conscious of the best ways of getting a little more coin out of a stone.
Yeah, well, you know, as my father used to always say, money isn't everything, but it sure as shit helps.
I really like your father.
Yes.
We also at some point have to go over plans for the gala.
Yes.
Sure. Having at the Lyceum.
Gala!
Oh, I'd nearly forgotten.
When's the gala?
I feel like it's 5 or 6 days. Like we were around a week away from the show opening, and a day or two has passed, right?
Yeah, how much did you want it close to the show?
I think it would be the night. It would be 2 days before.
2 days before?
To give the troupe time to then focus back in.
Thankfully, we've already had plans in
It's 5 days away?
So
5 days away.
5 days away.
So at least we're not starting
That is
from
the
scratch.
opening
The
of the
plan
show.
was to have a gala at the Lyceum to celebrate and ensure city's faith in what we're doing.
Get all the right people in the right place. How much do you want to know about any machinations that I'm putting forward? There is something to be said about legitimate ignorance. Or would you like to be informed of things that if someone did ask you, it would become a problem?
I think we're past that, Bolaire.
We're never, ever past dealing with the truth. So that's why I ask.
I think to Bolaire's point, if anyone wanted to try and push you or peek into your mind or
Thank you.
anything, do you want to have that burden?
Added to an already expanding collection of them.
I don't think any of us want this onus on us, but this onus has come.
Very well then, in for a copper.
Eyes wide open.
I'm going to steal the swords tonight. Quietly. And my plan is to hide them in your prop room. At the theater. In a corner. In a pile. Underneath. Whatever other junk I can find on the way home.
Yes.
We can do that.
That's good.
We can do that.
And prop foils are just getting so intricate these days. It's honestly impressive.
Thankfully, one's already broken. And by their very nature, they do not show up under magical search, as far as I know.
But if they were to show up, if someone does any kind of scan, that is a sanctioned place for magic to appear. But we might need to mask the nature of the magic of the blades.
Well, by their very nature, they're not magic.
Well, then that solves that.
It's complicated. They are very complicated. I've forged some paperwork to make them legitimately disappear. And the trick will be making sure they can't steal them. And you happen to own a very nice needle stack for us to hide a bunch of very expensive needles.
Sorry, above table, I'm thinking of which one is the cup of Christ?
Oh. We are there. Yeah. I mean, we're literally hiding the world's most basic-ass swords in a room full of basic-ass shit. So, yeah, it's gonna be the one real Hamlet skull. In a pile of fake Hamlet skulls.
So that is to happen tonight.
I was hoping to add it to whatever pile of things I'm grabbing for you. And again, if anyone thinks of anything they want me to steal from the museum now, borrow.
Are we adding the casket to the to-do list for the evening?
Apparently we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to bring it here? You want to go get it real quick? Or should we go to your place?
I think one big pile of things would be easier, just to get a small cart loaded with everything, because legitimately taking it to the theater is the appropriate place. And then we can take I can just take that over here once we're finished.
Unless you want us to do this at the theater.
That is up
just
to
meet
you.
me there.
Well, above table, to make sure I'm following, there's the Hollow Round, which is massive, and there are now a few buildings built into the sides of that ring where things would be stored. But there's also the Rookery, which is the smaller theater which still operates, not right now because we're so focused on this large production. But there is still a humble theater where where dance rooms and magical theatrical arcana are studied and practiced, as well as like our main prop room.
I like the Rookery. People are less likely to wander into it right now, and as silly as it sounds, I like the
Theatrics of it all.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a better way to put it, but yes, I love the theatrics of it. A good story is always more likely to survive.
Is this something that we set to do tonight, to set it up? Move it there, get it set up, and then deal with it tomorrow?
The faster, the better, is my feeling. I don't want to be too unusual, although we will be having people work very late at the museum, later than normal.
Okay.
It's closed. They need to get it done, and people are more prone to mistakes the longer they work.
All right. Who wants to go help Bolaire move invaluable weaponry that sundered the Shapers and are completely irreplaceable across town?
How do you make that sound like more fun than it is?
I mean,
we have to make it seem as normal as possible. I don't know if an arcane marshal accompanying them is a good idea.
Fair.
No, it should feel
like a normal transfer of props.
It should feel like normal transfer of props. It should feel like wheeling your grandma out to the park to get some fresh air.
Do you want to come make a list?
Grandma's a prop.
I can start.
Never met my grandma.
No.
I can start, and then you can rummage.
Oh, we are the theater people.
Hal and Bolaire, it sounds like you're going to make your way to the Arcanaut.
We are going to.
Azune and I will meet you at the Rookery.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So as they head off, are you guys staying here, or are you headed to the Rookery right away?
I think we'll maybe, as per usual, wait 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Make it
We're
not
not all
seem like
leaving
we're
at-
not all leaving
Yeah.
at
Margarita?
once.
Margarita?
One more round?
Sure.
All right.
I will, when it's just the two of us, I will produce the candle that was a part of the ceremony.
Oh.
Great.
And I'll just plop it right on the table. I don't think we should burn it, but you seem to have a way to peer into things that have yet come. And I'm curious to see if there's a way for you to somehow peer into what would happen if that thing were to burn all the way. Maybe not today, maybe not right now, but it's just something I want to put to you.
I mean, we got the time. Might as well.
Okay. What happens if this were to burn? How can I help you peer into a possible future?
Honestly, it's kind of like vibes based, so I kind of don't even know what to tell you how you could ever help me. But you know what? Just sit down with me, sit across from me, and just like give me good energy or something.
I'm going to go to light it as I'm in your field of view. And in that moment, right before I light it, I'm going to stop. See if the dominoes that might follow happen in her mind.
Are you going to cast Identify here?
Yeah, you know what? Let me first do an Identify.
Great.
And then I will determine off that Identify if it makes sense to do an Augury.
Yeah. Awesome. Identify first.
Identify first.
This is a powerful sorceress artifact. this candle is rendered from the fat of Tachonis family members.
Lord Durden, all right.
Holy Lord Durden!
Yeah.
Okay.
It is rendered from the fat of Tachonis family members, and it seeks to command the spirits of the freshly dead to speed on a number of different spell effects. I am going to...
It's like a catalyst.
I am going...
Speed up the effect, you said?
I'm going to need an Arcana check from you, and if you want to parlay that into an augury, you can.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
And light that lipo candle.
Why not? Speed of the effects of recently dead stuff.
Basically, this is a candle. On the identify, which is correctly done, this turns people, what would normally take thoughtful human sacrifice can be reckless slaughter, and this candle makes up the difference. It takes the freshly dead. In other words, what would have to be like on an altar with a knife moving through it, and this, and you're prepared. We've washed you in some weird necromantic oils. Now people could be run down in a street,
Oh my gosh.
on a castle wall, at a palazzo, and this candle renders those deaths as being performed as essentially part of a ritual, that their fresh spirits are transmuted. It is a, if you had to think of a name for this, a candle of slaughter would probably be the name for it.
Render's a good pun, by the way. Well done.
It is,
I was like, I heard it happen. I'm like, well done. All right. I can't tell if that was
This is one of the most heinously evil magic items you've ever seen. You're like, this is something that would normally, like, you've been carrying it around in your pocket. It's beautiful to look at. It's black and silver, and it's finely wrought. You would never know from holding it that it is made of human fat. This is one of the most horrifying necromantic. Because it just looks like a candle sitting there.
It's just a candle.
Now I'm recognizing why you had that look in your face right before I said I was going to do this, Brennan.
I'm so excited.
You had this slash look in your face. I'm like, Okay. Horrifying. Necromantic.
And what it feels like is whatever the fat is that it is created from. The purpose of the candle is this fat was rendered potentially from Tachonis bodies, naturally from how they would be prepared on a natural death. Like, you don't think this stuff made from the family members was made due to reckless slaughter, but it's that the remains of the family members await to transmute reckless slaughter into the energy of powerful magic working, right?
So not like souls of people that have been slaughtered have been somehow absorbed into this candle.
No.
This is going to be a triggering effect.
The like carefully, lovingly rendered fat of Tachonis family members is made into a candle to then take the reckless slaughter of others and turn it into the working of magic.
They did a slow, laborious process so that later they could do something instantly.
Yes.
So they can massacre a lot of people, use this candle.
It's a big red button.
It's a big red, yeah. And then I'm guessing, this is all above table, I'm guessing, make it appear like a strategic, meaningful sacrifice to then take those souls and enslave them in their ghost army that's being slowly built in another realm. I'm guessing.
Holy, yeah. Whoa.
Right? This is Marisha's conjecture.
Oh, hot.
Let's burn it.
Or maybe pop them
make it
up
happen.
people up
happens.
to start fighting.
Yeah, undead shit. Okay.
Great night.
All right. So
I will say two here.
Yes.
The mending that you cast to reconstitute this, you believe, I think on the identify, this thing no longer has that magical potential. Like, Azune's mending was not enough to recreate the magic of the candle, but it was enough to let you cast identify on it. Does that make sense? Like, this is not, otherwise they would just make one of these and be mending it all the time, right?
Sure.
So like that it has been used.
right, its magical property is
Yes.
used.
Okay, so that event that's occurred.
Yes.
Got
It burning at the Palazzo Davinos means
Was
it
it?
was used
Great,
at the
okay.
Palazzo Davinos.
All right.
Whoop, my brain.
means everything-
My note-taker brain.
That's already happened.
That means that, like, fucking Lord Davinos, like, Julian's dad is probably, like, stuck somewhere being a soldier for the Tachonis.
Yeah, thrall soldier of undead.
Yeah, fully indentured into the afterlife.
For all eternity.
So,
Uh-huh.
I just feel the need to give a little bit of a disclaimer
Okay.
before I pry further into this. I am getting a very strong, very heinous, necromantic energy from this.
Okay.
Necromantic energy from this. From what I'm gathering, it seems that there is properties built into this candle that manipulate and affect the souls of the dead to a malicious degree. It's giving me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies. I'm not gonna lie. It's almost as if the Tachonis family have rendered an entire sacrificial process into a lovely shade of purple in a nice little stick candle.
And that's been done?
It's
already?
been used.
Can you...
I'm not. It's like the essence of the magic is only what's remaining. So the peak of its magical abilities has been spent and used. What I'm trying to say is, if I had to extrapolate, which admittedly I am doing, finding this in the center of the Davinos estate after a massacre had occurred.
Now we know where or at least we think we know where they are.
Yeah, I think their souls have been enslaved, entrapped, indentured in their next life for whatever machinations the Tachonis have going on.
But that's
Does
what
this make sense?
Yes, that makes sense for that to be what their present is. Can you look into this and see what the future might be?
I can certainly try.
And I put my hand on your shoulder and I conjure, I utter that word.
Murray kind of
remember
massages the muscles surrounding her throat a little bit as she can feel her digestive system tensing up. I think this is going to be ugly. All right. She takes the quill at the tip of her finger. She draws that line cutting into the fabric of reality. It creates almost like a flat sound wave with no hum, only silence. She grabs the sound wave in front, brings it closer to the candle, in a sense to try and find the reverberations emanating from this lifeless source. Azune can probably ever so slightly sense peaks and valleys in the string as if it is starting to pick up a hum. And Murray's eyes go white as she taps in and casts augury.
What is the question you are posing with your augury? What knowledge do you seek? And as a reminder, augury tends to ask if some proposed future event would be ruinous or yield fruit, would be beneficial.
I think she just hears Azune's in this liminal space that she puts herself in this purgatory of time. She just hears Azune's voice as he already asked the question. What happens when you burn this candle all the way down to the wick, if this was. And Murray is smart enough to know where there's one, there are probably many. How many candles are burning and what happens when the wick is extinguished and the fuel is run out of the wax?
Give me an Arcana check. I will allow the use of augury in this novel way to allow you to make this roll with advantage.
And what I just flavored was casting guidance.
Great, so you add a d4 to this. You're rolling with advantage, you have a d4. I'm not gonna lie, because this is beyond the use of a typical augury, but it's fucking awesome, we're going to make it quite high. 15 will be whispers of an answer. 20 will be a glimpse of the truth. 25 gets you the whole hog.
Go.
You're rolling Arcana, you have guidance, you're rolling with advantage.
Make me believe in magic.
Using my admin die. That's not a roll, that's not a roll. I just dropped it.
And a d4.
And a d4.
D4, you wanna roll D4 first?
Let's roll a d4 first. That's always fun.
Let's go 4.
Yeah! 4. Right. What do you add to Arcana?
So my Arcana is +8. So we're already sitting at plus 12.
12.
Hot.
You just need one of these die to be a 13 or higher.
13 or yeah.
13 or higher.
I'm gonna roll in front.
Come on,
everyone
baby.
can see.
Oh, what is it?
The highest is an 11.
Okay. That's
But that's still, what is that? 23?
23. Or 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
23.
23.
Okay.
Okay. With a 23.
Okay.
Images flicker in and out of control. You are asking about what happens if this candle burns. This candle is burnt. It cannot burn again. Even reconstituted as it is by Azune, its magic is spent. You get an image. One other such candle exists. The dead bodies of the House Tachonis are not easy to come by. It's not a resource that they have an endless amount of. And it appears they have used many throughout the history of the house. There were many of these at one point that all got spent throughout the Shapers' War. When the House Tachonis was fighting on behalf of Tunsil, the god of the sun.
They needed armies.
You look throughout on a 23 images. You see black wings spread wide, an angel of death flying across endless night, landing in front of a golden orchard, raising aloft a hand, severing. Trees wither, dying, approaching a shape. You see an image of all of the fairies of the Golden Orchard withering and dying. An angel's face turns, hollow white eyes. The face of Octus Tachonis looks right at you. You look in here and see this candle did not burn all the way to the wick. Or did not burn all, it had burned down, right? It was melted, but there was enough left that it was not fully consumed. Something in its ritual went wrong. You hear the howls of Tachonis spirits spurring on. Their first task of this spell was to travel a great distance. It was to make up for distance of a ritual that was not happening where it was supposed to. There was something that was being added to, like a hum. Murray, you get an insight. Magic can work across great distances. Frequencies can travel vast distances. And you see yet another insight into a fabric or weaving of magic across the face of Ahriman. And you see the howl of an ancient spirit across the tenebral reaches. Last thing you see, which is not the full truth, you can't get the full plan here. Something went wrong. And a backup plan was triggered. Their first thing, the thing this was supposed to do, failed. but something else has been kicked into gear to make up for it. They wanted to do this the quick and powerful way. Instead, they will have to go the long way round, but they are going there right now. You see rows and rows of sarcophagi. You see stone statues posed, looking out, but with a strange visage of horror across all their faces. To the dead draw near, and all of the statues' eyes glow white. And you see ships sailing into the mist as a voice calls out from darkness. Raise high the white banners. What has failed in life, let be made right in death. And that's where we'll take our break.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Sweet fuck.
Spoopy.
Spoopy.
You had to poke the candle.
I had to poke the candle.
Hell yeah. We'll see you all after the break.
Smells of pumpkin spice.
It's a battle. Have you ever gotten into a live bidding war with a stranger online? Honestly, I've never felt more alive. eBay Live is more than just shopping. It's an experience. It's a chance to win something big, like a new card for my binder, or a new game for my collection. One more couldn't hurt. With live box breaks, you never know what you're gonna pull, and everyone can join in the excitement together. Each stream is basically like its own little community, and interacting with the host and the other viewers live really adds to the fun. Not to mention, I've seen people win some crazy stuff in giveaways, like sealed boxes of cards and graded slabs. Oh my goodness. Join the thrill. See what's live now.
This is Mother Goose to her flock. Acknowledge.
I'm in.
Roger Dodger, I gotcha.
Present.
Online. Excellent work, Critical Warriors. Marisha, what's your 20?
I'm undercover in Peachtown.
Atlanta.
Whatever. All right, accessing live show plans now.
It's imperative we gather full intel on our upcoming 2026 live shows. Liam, are you in position?
On station in Berlin. Man, this air duct is a real tight fit.
Carry on, operative. Taliesin, where are you?
I am still at the airport. No one has told me where I'm supposed to go.
Excellent. Matt, sit rep.
Currently in the catacombs under Edinburgh Castle. Legends tell of live show details hidden somewhere within.
Ashley, give me your grid.
I'm in London and I fooled everyone with my British accent, governor, slicing in now.
Sam, where are you?
I'm right here. Yeah, I was just gonna go get some food. You want anything? Okay.
Laura?
Getting into position now.
Are you in Dallas-Fort Worth?
I may have overthought this.
I must be getting close.
All right, I'm in. Transmitting Atlanta live show information now. Bell's Hells will be back, playing Daggerheart as they delve underseas to combat a growing evil in the Maelstrom Kingdom.
Our Berlin show, aka Project Funball, will follow the Mighty Nine as they explore the folding halls of Hellas to save a corrupted Caleb Widogast.
Still at the airport.
Critters in Edinburgh can look forward to Darktoe, where the Mighty Nine must contend with the Plain King and help Kingsley reclaim the throne.
Our London show follows Vox Machina as they head to Ruidus to protect a kidnapped godchild in Red Moon Requiem.
I got ribs!
We finish off the year in Dallas-Fort Worth, where Grog reunites with Vox Machina amid all the wild changes sweeping Exandria in Grog's holiday adventure.
Copy that. I better start prepping.
Oh, you better.
I'm stuck.
Live shows!
Welcome to Weird Kids.
Welcome to Weird Kids. We are live from a ball pit. Can I take your order? Maybe 2 sides of trauma?
Ooh, get me, I'll take a bit of that. We did skeet shooting except with Molotov cocktails, which was great.
I think the more fast food I'm eating, the more depressed I am.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's the mailbag!
Oh my goodness, it's a mail monkey.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, that's so cute.
We got it.
I saw Weird Al Yankovic walk into the Burger King on the corner and followed him in, and then ordered what he ordered, and then it made me sick.
I got ketchup on the microphone.
What is bologna? Feet and face?
I'll buy that.
Listen, I will still eat it.
Shit.
What lies beyond, they longed to know. The places where the maps don't go. Their quest to learn of time and space devoured them without a trace.
The dawning truth burned like a sun, hypotheses unwound, undone. Through realms unknown, the ship took flight, through ancient ruins, through beams of light.
And now, at last, an endless hall reveals the things that haunt them all. The final journey now begins. To go beyond, we must go within. Unend Season 3 arrives April 8th, 2026.
New episodes available Wednesdays on Beacon, Mids.co, YouTube, and your preferred podcast listening platform.
Hello, friends. Laura Vale here with all our cool stuff available in the Critical Role shop. It's comfy, it's cozy, it's perfect for you.
9 times out of 10, this is a good decision.
Make a hell of a fashion statement with this baby right here. Why not pick this up? It looked great on you. This is what real charisma looks like.
I'll take 3. For science, obviously.
You can never have too many dice. Take it from me.
Yeah, that's definitely captain-worthy.
This'll travel well. Add to cart.
Need more dice? These are nice. Grab some sweet CR swag of your own over at the Critical Role shop. We'll see you there. Welcome to Weird Kids.
we return to Dol Makyar, leaving our friends in their horrific vision, to instead venture off to the Arcanod. Bolaire and Hal. The evening has worn on. After a long walk across the bridge, you guys arrive at the Arcanod. And what I would love is a luck check from Taliesin.
What is a luck check?
A luck check is us seeing how unlucky you're about to be.
Sure. What do you want me to roll?
I want you to roll a d20, and I want you to.
D20?
And I just think you don't want to get a 1 through a 4.
Let's try this one. All right.
1 through 4.
Like the dice
1 through 4.
Oh. 16.
16.
Sorry.
There's one.
You arrive. You arrive at the Arcanod. You've been out for a little while, but you spent the whole day there. As you arrive, you see that one of your staff comes up, who's here late. Most of your staff is here late because it's a crazy day. She runs up to you. This is Rosadella, Archivist Rosadella, who comes up and says, I'm so sorry, Master Lathalia. A message has been left for you by the Lady Daysond Cormorant.
Has there?
She was quite cross, and we were forbade from doing any further work. And she said to put everything back. And then I had to explain that because multiple systems of taxonomy were occurring simultaneously, that it would be impossible for us to put anything back without continuing our work. And she asked me to explain that, and I did, and she looked very cross again and said that you were to speak to her at once, as she's confused about why the work was begun so promptly. And I spoke on behalf of the Lloy wing and said, we endeavor always to begin promptly. And she said in the future that we should wait for direct instruction, at which point I said, instruction from whom? And then she sort of looked at me and smiled and walked away.
I want you to know and think very carefully upon how well you just did.
Really?
Just continue to be you. Phenomenal. Let's put a hold on certain things in a moment. We'll put a hold on things for a moment. We actually have to pick up some things for the theater really quickly. Why don't we send everybody home for the evening, since clearly we're supposed to stop production anyway. Everyone can go home and start having some thoughts about how to start putting everything back. Don't think too hard on it. We're really not going to do it anyway.
You see that Spiro raises his head. He's got a massive, multiple lenses contraption of, glasses to closely inspect things. And he says, are we being sent home right away? We did think we were working late and did send out an order for dinner.
That's very fair.
Relatable.
I'm sorry we did it before you come, but you...
Oh,
forgiving Master Lathalia, you've never eaten with us one time.
No, I usually have better company. Kidding. Love you all. Since there is dinner coming, you might as well continue, have the dinner, and then go home early. All
right. You see that everyone says, all right, well, we don't have to continue work if it's not necessary. Everyone pause work. We'll wait for dinner. And you see that they all sort of head off, leaving you and Hal in the wing here as a couple folks. Even some of these people leaving, like Rosadelix, and says, Hal, good to see you again. Hello.
Evening.
Excited for the gala. Assuming that we are working that night.
I'm of the opinion that you will not be working that night. I think my opinion is this is an event. Everyone should enjoy the show, one way or another.
Lovely. So are we our staff invited to the?
Not officially yet. I've got to deal with whatever this insanity is, but it is my hope, and I would hope that you know that I am pushing for it.
If there's space, absolutely. No, I won't be pushy. And you see that they talk.
I will be.
Everyone deserves a little revelry. Echo.
And you guys are left as the archivists and curators sort of funnel out. It is absolute fucking chaos in the Lloy ring right now. You see the main doors are closed. Everything's been pushed into the centers of the room. Everything is sort of off the rack. And you can see that a place that is normally kind of sparse and has lots of distance between these massive exhibits is now cluttered with stuff that's been dredged up out of the vaults to be sorted and resorted up here on the main floor.
You still have closed carriages and wagons on premises?
We have one ready to go.
Then let's rob this place fucking blind.
Excellent.
Go ahead, if you would be so kind, and I'd like you guys to give me a group stealth check, which means that because there's only two of you, we'll just take the higher of the two rolls.
Okay.
And then a group perception check.
Okay.
Start with stealth. Ew, yours will be higher.
Nope.
Sure?
Nope.
Oh, no.
For me, it's a 6.
Great.
You're higher.
Gotcha.
One.
As you guys are moving through, have all of the pariah blades that you have access to been brought up to this main floor?
Well, there's still the notion is they were still in the lower levels where they're normally kept. I've just mixed the fake ones in a way that it would be nearly impossible to tell which is which if you didn't know.
Go ahead and give me. What I would like to know is this. How many pariah blades are up on the main floor? How many are below? And how much access to your private vaults? Like there's the vault and then there's your private vault. How much access did any of your staff have?
Zero. They were not allowed access to my private office.
Yeah.
And they did not even know, I don't think. And that wasn't even like, there was like clearly a private office and they had no idea there's a secondary thing in there. That is a well-kept secret.
Gotcha, great.
But yeah.
But for the blades, which are not in the private vaults.
They are not.
How many have come upstairs?
None. They are all in the vault next to my office.
Gotcha, okay. Or not the private vault next to your office.
No. They're in the normal downstairs.
Yes.
It's been too busy to get them anywhere really. It would have been weird if they were not there.
You guys begin to take, so you go down, begin to get the various blades. And go ahead and give me a perception check if you'd be so kind.
Catch hold of Bolaire, spin him around. It's been a while since we nerded out over the arts. It's almost like the world isn't in free fall.
I needed this.
Let's not fuck it up. And I pump Bardic Inspiration into your
what do I get out of that?
central nervous system. That is a D6 to add to stuff. Features and traits. Yeah, D6.
I'd say here's to the heretics, but all the gods are dead. Here's to being deep in sedition. Let's go.
Great. I'm going to need a perception check from each of you.
I'm using that die.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad I did.
Let's roll well, O'Brien. Okay.
I'm really glad I did.
It's been dog shit. Now it's just mediocre.
11.
16.
Thank God. It's just rolling crap.
You guys are downstairs moving. Your stealth check is basically like, how quickly can you make sure? Because essentially, as you move the real blades to the theater, where are the replicas going?
They're staying.
Replicas are staying.
Yes.
But they're being marked to like be recovered by the Lloys potentially.
No.
Okay.
What I'm doing is I'm moving the real ones to the Lloyds, and then I'm leaving. They don't know. In theory, the Lloyds do not know that there are replicas exist.
Gotcha.
Why would they?
Yeah.
So my thought is to leave the replicas and insinuate that they're not replicas. That I sent the Lloyds the replicas. Some of the real ones, but some replicas as a way of being a good boy.
Gotcha. Okay, understood. On a 16 perception, you move the pariah blades into the wagon, the real ones. As you go to the final one, the one that struck down the god of war, and you pick that up and begin to move it, Hal, the temperature in the room drops a couple degrees in a way that on that 16 perception you can't help but notice. And you're deep in the vault and can't help but notice a rustle of wind, which the doors are closed upstairs, so you're not sure why that's happening.
Okay, so not emanating, based off the end of that, not emanating from the blade itself. Quick question also, how big is the blade? Is it a sword? Is it a sword?
It is a longsword. You look and see the blade that was crafted by Thaisha's great-grandfather, who, you look at it and it is a beautifully weighted. The craft of the blade is impeccable, but it is made of sort of cold iron. It doesn't look, there's no gems in the hilt. It is a breathtaking in its earthiness, its mundanity, and humble and utilitarian in its design.
I freeze while holding the blade, and I want to. I try not to tell that I have been bumped by this change in the atmosphere, but I want to see if I can hear anything anywhere around us, or tell from if there's anything in the vicinity that is causing that.
You pause. There is wind up above you in the main hall, which there should not be. But you can hear wind blowing.
So the layout of this place is that we have to go back up the way we came with this stuff?
We at least have to go up into the labs. I think that would be up to you if there's a way to get out. Normally there would be a way to get out without going through the main, but there's no way out of here. There's only one way out of this.
If your carriage is in that sort of back loading dock area where Thiazi dropped off the paint, you will not have to go back up the way you came.
I do have to get the box from it, at the very least from the lab. It's not the main part of the museum, but I do have to go get the box.
I quickly also, quite a bit quicker because of that change, grab some other period historically accurate non-god killing blades and like headdresses and garb of the time to be used in the production, or at least to say they will be used in the production. And are we, when we're moving these things, do we have some sort of like a librarian's cart, or is the equivalent of?
Yeah.
All right, so
fancy Home Depot cart.
So I make a little bit of clutter with other lesser blades on top of the important ones.
Gotcha. But all of the blades have made it into the back of the carriage.
Yeah. Well, like a cart, right?
Yeah.
Moving through the, and we're talking about there being a carriage or wagon outside.
Right outside. Like going to a con. Inside the dealer's room.
Great.
Get in the golf cart.
You get in the golf cart. This is go ahead and give me an acrobatics check, both of you, for how swiftly you are able to assemble.
Come on.
Acrobatics check.
Or sleight of hand if you
better.
Still shit. What do you got?
Dirty 20.
Oh, thank God.
You load up the cart and begin walking. As you get to the place where the hall diverges, one staircase going back up to the main floor, and another that heads off towards the loading dock where that paint originally was from Thiazi. Both of you give me a perception check.
Ah, fuck. Come on. Yes. It's...
Nope.
Oh my God.
It's 21.
Fucking done with that.
Yes.
The footsteps are walking through the hall. None of them are the soft, slippered feet of curators. There is a clack of refined raised heel and elegant design that is marching towards the staircase.
Antechamber. Where?
To hide?
Yes.
Let's go to my office then. If we're at the back, we can just load the cart and go, and I'll try and come back for the box later.
This is your museum.
They're coming from upstairs?
From upstairs.
So that's a no for.
Not at the moment, I don't know. Well, there's other people here right now.
I don't know. It's gonna tomorrow.
I'm gonna start pushing.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I say it's better to just get the fuck out of here then.
So you guys are going to abandon the cart?
No, we have the cart. We're gonna.
You have the cart. Okay.
The footsteps are coming from behind us, right? So we can just push the cart and get it to the.
You've pushed down to where the path splits, one going to the loading dock and another headed to the staircase that goes up to the main floor.
So, and the footsteps are coming from upstairs.
From upstairs.
So let's just go to the loading dock and pretend this is not our problem.
Okay. You guys go towards.
Coffin eludes us again.
You head to the loading dock.
Better get this ready.
As you arrive there,
Oh God! Oh no!
I'm going to need initiative from both of you.
Oh! Well, fuck off.
Who can get the fuck out of Dodge quicker?
It's a 6 for me.
18.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Flip.
Great. 18 from Bolaire.
This is so cinematic in my head right now.
Yes.
I'm going to need, as you guys arrive at the carriage, now, Bolaire, you can hear the footsteps too. They're coming down the staircase. The loading dock is not a secret area.
No.
And I am going to need animal handling for the horse, acrobatics for loading, for loading quickly. Yeah, we'll do acrobatics for that. So we need acrobatics and an animal handling. I'll need one of those checks from each of you. So each of you are making 2, that's 4 in total. All 4 need to be above a 10.
Are you better at one of those?
Nope.
Because I'm dead even.
I'm dead even.
You both have to do it.
You both have to do it.
Oh, we're doing both.
You're doing both. And they all have to be above a 10.
Gotcha.
So let's go one at a time. Let's go ahead and give me the acrobatics first. Let's see if they're both above a 10.
They're above a 10.
Yes, 13.
13. And
plus mine, 17.
17. Okay, you both walk up, hear footsteps behind you, Bolaire. You hear it now too. Load up the wagon as fast as you can. Just everything goes in the wagon. And then I'm going to need animal handling as the sort of sleepy horse that's like stabled here, looking at the entrance of the loading dock.
Just an old-ass crusty horse.
So I'm going to need a 10 or higher on animal handling from both of you.
Good girl.
Come on.
Good girl.
Oh boy.
Good girl. It's a 6.
9.
Oh, 6 and
No. What's happening?
She's coming.
We succeeded and failed identically.
She's coming.
The horse doesn't know.
Both of you jump onto the front of this carriage and realize you are not carriage drivers. By the way, I will say, if any of you have vehicle land proficiency, you can swap that in. I don't imagine you would.
What's a vehicle land? I've never heard of that.
You guys aren't fucking with land vehicle proficiency? Okay, couldn't be me.
This is New York. No one drives.
You realize why Sid, Teor's brother, was so involved. It's like, no one knows how to drive a carriage in this fucking town.
I feel like we're missing something.
As you get there, trying to get this horse to move, and it just sort of like, not waiting for like, ooh,
Yeah,
yes,
yeehaw.
Go horse.
Go.
Only Bolaire can act first on that 18. You cannot, Hal, as the footsteps round the corner and are about to approach onto the loading dock.
How many footsteps does it sound like?
1.
Just one?
One set. Set.
But she's in those Louboutins. She's in those murder shoes.
Oh no.
Okay. I'm going to calm myself and I know it's coming, but I'm just gonna act natural, and I just want to take a look at what the disposition of this person rounding the corner is, to whether or not, and I'm preparing to cast a spell depending on the face that I see and just how angry or otherwise they are.
Great. Rounding the corner, beautiful white gown, hair in braided rings, set with gold, and a sort of like long ivory fingernails, like painted white to match the gown, is the Lady Aabria de St. Cormoré. She turns the corner. Master Lathalia.
Hello, dear. You are the next person on my schedule. I heard you had some issues with the speed and movement of what we're doing here.
Not at all. She turns and says, and to whom may I direct my attention here?
Halandil Fang, owner and purveyor of the hallowed round and the rookery here in Dol Makyar. Pardon the late hour, but we are here to acquire some accoutrement for the production at hand, and we've taken some bits and baubles, nothing too problematic for you, I hope.
We have
Stop talking.
I have the list of what we're pulling right now upstairs. We suddenly realized that with everything going on at the museum that it was going to take way too much time to put together the normal list. So it seemed prudent to just get it done with now so I can get back to the gala and this nightmare.
Oh, this does stand out, though. And I pull like a huge feathered headdress and go and put it on my head.
Save it for the theater, dear good lord.
Okay, I am going to need a deception check.
Sure.
I'm going to need a deception check in this moment. From I think from both of you, actually. So both of you go ahead and give me deception.
For me? Ooh, terrible for me. 9.
9.
Oh, why am I?
Oh. No, it's good because of Silver Tongue. Anything less than a 10 is a 10. So for me,
And that's on advantage?
That was an advantage. So just 2
you have advantage. I don't have advantage.
18 for me.
Why don't
18.
I have advantage? Okay, it's crazy.
18. And you had a bardic inspiration that you've already used, correct?
I already burned that. Okay. Yeah, mine comes out, and like anything I do, because it's nothing I said is a lie, but clearly I'm not saying everything.
Yes.
Lies of omission. There's a lot of dice back there. Oh my god, what's about to happen?
He stood up.
I'm about to roll an insight check.
Sure.
Okay.
I like it when we react to what the numbers are. You rolled an 18, correct? The Lady Aabria de St. Cormoré has a plus 12 insight.
All right.
So you need a.
Get out of here.
Under a sink.
Get out of here.
You need a. She is a lady of a sundered house, remarkably powerful. You're looking for a 5 or lower.
Oh, God.
No shot.
10.
I'm not there.
Oh, you have to be there.
I'm able to see her. I know.
I'll see you down there.
Okay.
Both of you have just forfeited your lives.
I don't think that. What are you talking about?
She raises a hand, and the last pariah blade shoots out of the wagon into her hand, gleaming with the blood that she left when she cut herself.
I've tried to clean that motherfucker! No, God damn it! I'm personally of the opinion that...
She lowers the blade to point directly at you.
There's a piece of paper upstairs that'll explain what's happening.
Take me to it, Bolaire. You too, Master Fang. Are Luis and Marisha under the table?
Yes, they're talking down there.
We were talking about making a pillow fort for safety.
I'll join the table of kids.
She turns and says,
I was really hoping not to show you this yet.
I do not know what form of sedition or conspiracy is at play here. Only that I'm tired of the noise of little vermin running around wherever I'm not looking. So, you'll take me to wherever this explanation is, Bolaire. And might I assume it's in an area of the museum I've never been before?
No, it's actually, honestly, it's just... it's up in the archivist's workroom on one of the desks. Stack of paperwork.
Go ahead. And to what is Bolaire referring in this moment?
I'm referring to the document that says that the swords don't belong to us.
Gotcha. Do you lead her there?
Oh, yes.
She walks with you to that office. As she does so, you arrive there, and she investigates the document in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
I am so sorry.
No, I'm excited.
I did just roll a nat 20.
Oh, so you know.
She takes it and says, the Lloys have requested the pariah blades back.
Apparently.
Are you so easily fooled by a forgery? And she burns the letter in front of her.
You think?
I am going to need a wisdom saving throw, and she's going to heighten spell to have you roll at disadvantage.
Okay, God, I was just gonna fucking go for a thing. God damn it. Okay, that's on me. That's on me for holding before casting a spell for too long.
Mm-hmm.
That's on me. I need to roll wisdom at disadvantage.
Wisdom disadvantage.
Wisdom save. Here we go.
This is just a woman in like a beautiful dress.
Yeah.
Now holding a pariah blade.
Yeah.
In hand. Okay.
With really cool hair.
Super cool hair.
18.
18 is the lower of the two.
Yeah, I got a nat 20 on the other one.
Hell yeah. She casts a spell, and you can see that she's beginning to pry into your mind.
I'm curious how that would go, genuinely, but because that's never occurred to me. Do I know that she's doing this?
Yeah, she makes no bones about it. She just, you see, takes her takes a hand and begins to cast Detect Thoughts on you.
I'm going to cast Suggestion on the other direction.
As you go to cast Suggestion, she is going to counter it. Roll initiative.
Oh no! I have to go home.
I thought I could get away with it, but no, never mind. All right.
Are we there?
Are you rolling initiative too, you weirdo?
I did it. 13.
Shit.
Gonna meet them.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
You're gonna get
Die down.
killed by a very hot blonde.
That's terrible. A 5. That's absolutely terrible.
Oh my god.
I had such a great roll at the earlier one, and then this one just went to shit.
Okay.
So I don't make it to this, do I? Or no, I burn the. If she gets the reaction, then I burn the spell, don't I? No.
Go ahead. Well, she has her reaction ready. She's not using it for any reason.
Okay. So I don't get the spell doesn't get countered then. Well, what?
Let me go ahead. What's your initiative?
My initiative is 5.
5, and for Halandil?
13.
13. Okay. As she goes to cast Detect Thoughts, you cast Suggestion in response to that. Hal, do you do anything as this is happening?
I think I am trying to put faith in Bolaire to turn the situation around.
Oh, we're so far behind.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Wait, actually, hold on. It may not have been
It
suggestion.
seems like a bad idea to light this woman up. I know that we might have to. But suggestion and those two spells are happening ahead of anything, or
the suggestion
these are falling in initiative?
She cast Detect Thoughts. You are casting Suggestion in response.
Which is a wisdom saving throw.
Which is a wisdom saving throw. But she's going to counter that, which she can do. I think we're going to resolve this counter spell and then enter into initiative on Hal's turn. Does that sound fair? So the suggestion might go through. You've already resisted the Detect Thoughts. This is going to be...
Fucking sorcerers.
I'm going to use the legacy rules for counterspell here because I find them, much like the athletics checks for Julien during the Seeker's Table, I find them to be very fun.
Here.
Okay. That's a second level spell, correct? So she just needs, on a 7 or higher, she's going to counter that spell. 1! She does not counter the spell. She's unable to counter. What is the suggestion that Bolaire is making in this moment?
This is a huge error. You know this is a huge error. You're going to put the sword down. We're going to go back down to the archive and just have a very reasonable conversation about this after you. I have not made a threatening move yet.
That is true. You suggest a course of activity. Describe no more than 25 words. One creature you can see. Sound
We
achievable.
go downstairs and have a nice conversation about this.
Okay, she does still have to make her wisdom save.
She does. I thought she just did.
That was her counter. She was going to
Oh, that
counter.
was a counter. Okay.
So now she gets a wisdom save
That's
against
fair.
it.
Sure. Really strong.
Your difficulty here, I believe, is currently a 14.
It is a
correct?
14.
You're looking for a 7 or lower on the die.
I'll take it.
4!
Wow! Oh my God! What is happening right now?
She, Bolaire, I need to tell you, as this magic works its way onto her, you have just, this woman, you realize, flew here alone. The moment someone touched the pariah blade, some magic that she had on it alerted her that it had been disturbed, right? When you detected that the temperature of the room dropped, that was her on her way here, having immediately felt that the blade had been touched. You have caught a tiger by the tail.
Oh my God.
The fact that that counter failed and then her wisdom save failed is an unbelievable stroke of good fortune. As she lowers the blade, she says, "Finally, you see reason. Impudent to resist the spell in the first place."
I just want to keep my job. Honestly, I just want to keep my apartment.
Both of you have been lying to me. Take me downstairs at once. And Bolaire, I want to see. She grabs the lapel. You realize that she believes, part of the suggestion working is that she believes she defeated it.
Yeah.
Like, she thinks for suggestion to work for the duration of this spell, right? Because the suggestion must sound achievable, not above anything that would obviously deal damage to the target or its allies. It's like she's under the charmed condition right now. So,
she buys it.
She buys it, but you can see the way that's manifesting in her mind is that she overcame whatever.
Yes, she's won. She thinks she's
won. So she goes downstairs at once and let us converse.
Question. Part of your wording was to put the sword down.
Yeah, she's lowered it.
Okay. She didn't put it down.
She didn't put it down, but she has lowered the point.
Yeah, there's a couple little things I put in there that we'll get to.
Yeah.
But I am.
Hal had inhaled to unleash, if need be, and just quietly goes.
As I
I'm dizzy.
I very specifically put forward the after you to her so that she can walk ahead of us. It was part of the
suggestion.
It was part of the suggestion.
She takes off down the hallway.
I follow. I'm just going to make a little to you to, we're gonna have to deal with this. Prepare. So, as we walk down.
Wait. Before you start walking.
Yeah.
I'll place a hand on your shoulder before you start to follow, and very careful but clear as a bell, you just hear Hal's voice. Careful. And cast Aid. So 5 hit points, target max and current go up by 5. Myself as well.
We are, as long as you know, we are about to get into this. A version of getting into this at the very least. Yeah.
She takes off, headed back downstairs towards the vault.
Following.
Yeah.
As I do, I am going to open my office door.
You open your office door, and this is to the real office.
To my real office.
She smirks. Suggestion lasts for 8 hours.
Yep.
8 hours.
She smirks and says, I always knew you little officiants had your hidey holes. Look at this.
I'm trying very, very hard to give you a gesture of good faith.
She begins to walk down, seeing the massive, stone giant's hand.
Oh, we're not down there yet.
Oh, sorry, gotcha. Yeah.
We are not down there yet.
That's the vault.
To the big vault.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Your hidey holes.
Now, I'm going to need a little bit of. I need some trust on your end because I'm going to be laying out a little bit more than I ever have before. I want this job. I want to keep it.
Well, of course. I understand that both of you are now very much negotiating for your lives.
I open the door to the secret vault.
You open the door. Refresh my memory. The upper real office, that doesn't have the coffin in it. The coffin is all the way down.
All the way down.
She begins to proceed down.
Oh, no, well,
sorry.
I offer her the big fucking spiral staircase down. The one that doesn't have a rail, by the way.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll trip on her dress.
She can barely fly.
Break her neck. Game over.
Do we hear any staff anywhere else in the museum from where we are?
No.
Great.
No.
Is she wearing a dress?
Yeah, she's wearing a pretty white dress.
Yeah.
That was done.
She begins to walk down the staircase.
I kick.
You kick? Okay.
Or actually, no, I've got a sword. No, because I want to shove. Actually, I don't even. Actually, I'm going to do one better.
What a journey.
Yes.
Do we do physical or do we do mental? That is the question, isn't it?
Bolaire, I'm going to ask for an insight check.
Yeah, I would love an insight check. That would do really well.
You insight, she's level 18. I'm just kidding. I'm not.
How hardcore is this woman right now?
First of all, this woman, you can tell from the how windswept the gown and everything else is. This woman flew here under her own power.
Oh, okay, she's that good. All right,
Yes.
that helps.
Yes.
Hold on, I'm just trying to get a sense of where I'm at. Thank you for that. No, I'm trying to figure out the best way.
You have caught a challenge rating similar to a dragon.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Just need to be very clear that you are two third-level characters who have managed to pull off a suggestion on a character whose challenge rating is in the double digits.
Okay.
As she proceeds down the staircase, walking with you, Bolaire and Hal, both of you watch again as she, holding the pariah blade, moves down, sees the massive stone arm. You've got your suggestion on her. She's charmed. You have the fact that you have averted death is incredible. As she gets down to your real office, she moves past the handle and says, "Treasures unfold. Look at this. Wonders never cease." And she walks into the office, points You can sense the pride of pointing with the pariah blade. She points at Olbalad's coffin, which is on your desk, and it seems to be the thing you were last working on.
Oh, I thought it was upstairs. Shit, that's okay.
She.
Yeah, fuck.
No,
this will work fine.
You said.
Yeah.
I
know. She gets down into the office, points at it, and says, "What is this?"
I have no idea. It's mine. It doesn't belong to the museum, but I have no idea. I was just starting to. Honestly, this was what I was going to be working on tonight before I was interrupted.
Go ahead and give me persuasion or deception with advantage because she is charmed.
It's basically true. All right.
Persuasion or
it's the same.
deception?
It doesn't matter. It's the same. 18, 19, 24.
24. She, standing before the coffin, looks at it and says, "Halfling."
Yes.
What are you, Bolaire?
A very tired veteran. Not a halfling, obviously.
She turns and says, "And are you aware of what you are guilty of, Mr. Fang, in this moment? Stealing from the Arcanaut?"
We're discussing a family heirloom.
She looks back at the coffin. Wood, taken from the wastes, Salandri. Fascinating. You see she casts Detect Magic.
Interesting.
Looks at it. What motivated you to try and steal the blades?
I was attempting to return them to their owner.
So you had this theater proprietor help you return them to their owner?
I was moving a bunch of things out of here. It's a fucking mess right now. One trip is better than many, and I know every day that I wait, everything's getting cataloged, filed. There was and eventually moved down the bloody hole.
She smiles. You are either a fool or a liar. And once I have these treasures returned to the beneficence of House Cormoray's vaults, we're going to use as much magic as it takes to find out.
I assure you I am not a liar.
She reaches out to the coffin and says, "We'll see. And for you, Mr. Fang, after we're done here, I think I'll curry a little favor with an old friend of mine and drag you by the ear to the Photarch's home. She's been so excited to meet you. Maybe you know something about her son. I think you've bitten off a little more than you can chew." She opens the coffin, looks into the mist, and says, "Now what have we?" A cracked black mask shoots out onto her face, and she stumbles backwards, goes, hits the deck, and falls into a row of things behind her. One moment. That is a nat 1 on the die. So she goes, "Ah!" as the pry blade falls. The mask looks up. As the cracks congeal, you see that she stands up, looks at you, Bolaire.
I'm grabbing the pariah blade while that happens.
Give me, go ahead and give me sleight of hand or athletics with advantage.
There's one way to investigate the box.
So much is happening. So much is happening.
Sleight of hand. Did you say at advantage?
Advantage, yeah.
It was a 17.
17. You reach for it as she stands again. She you grab the pariah blade out of her hand with the shattered mask. This is not supposed to be a shattered mask. You hear a quavering voice look and go, brother! And she shoots into the coffin, vanishes into the mist, and the coffin slams shut.
Do I know who that was, and can I make a guess?
You can absolutely make a guess. You do know who that was, but they are not supposed to be quiet.
Was that Termina? No. Was that Termina?
Yes, that was Termina.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's... Oh, wow. Okay. Fuck.
I literally...
I just say out loud... Termina.
I literally was about to suggest you show her the mask. But it seems she has one of her own.
She... Oh. That... that was my sister. And... she was... been dead for 80 years. That was the masked Termina.
I've got the blade. Grab the box.
And we are going to leave the Arcanaut.
Fuck!
Oh my god!
Termina! Why Termina, you asshole? Oh no! Ah! Okay, I'm good. Oh no!
Plus 12 on insight. Plus 12.
Yes. Plus 12 on insight.
He's high level.
He's high level.
Yeah, Termina real bad. Oh no.
We're in so much trouble.
Oh.
I'm not in any trouble.
Yeah, Termina did die, right?
But she
got
hoovered.
Termina, yeah.
Sure, her whole body just got hoovered into this child-sized casket and closed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who put the Okay. No. Okay, that's gonna be a whole explanation later. Shit.
Dude, you fucking Lady Cormorant just got sucked into a box.
By Big Sis. Yes.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah. Oh no. Oh wow.
All right, settle.
Yeah, I'm good.
Settle.
Shit.
We return to Azune.
Act casual, guys.
You don't know anything.
You don't know anything.
We're all about this candle.
You guys are like, we're about to blow their minds.
Yeah, whoa, we made some discoveries.
Okay.
Pumpkin spice.
Oh, God. Are we at the rookery at this point, waiting for them?
I think you're at the rookery waiting for them. We'll just cut right to the rookery. You guys,
I've explained everything that I saw.
The vision.
My mind is blown.
Yeah.
So I will explain. The vision you saw, right, was not a vision of things that have happened.
Yes.
No. Your identify mixed with your augury happens to work extraordinarily well because the magic item you were identifying is a source of potency for great workings of magic. As such, in identifying it, you were able to catch some residual waves of what this was being used to power. And essentially that augury cast it slightly into the future. So like once this angel of death is created, what is it supposed to do? Yeah. What it was supposed to immediately do did not happen because the ritual failed.
Right.
But the phase 2 can happen the hard way. And what you saw was sarcophagi, stone statues, glowing eyes, and a voice calling for the white banners.
Did you happen to see where those coffins were being marched? I'm still definitely there too.
Sorry, yeah.
No, it's okay.
I think you guys are at the rookery.
Yes.
Like Hal's old. So you guys are like at an old theater. There's some puppets like piled up on a little like bench looking out on the street.
Are we that little theater in LA?
Yeah.
Oh.
Full some benches.
And Azune and Murray, you guys are a little rattled at what you've discovered.
Yes.
And I think you see. You see Bolaire and Hal riding on the driver's seat and shotgun of a carriage pulling up, and these are the faces.
I am mint green. Pale.
Mint green.
I don't know if I think I'm just reflecting your green and it's a nice bottle. Like, this is just, the mask is just, it looks like the tragedy mask. It is just sunk so low.
Shell shocked.
What took you so long?
Murray's kind of like leaning on Azune. Just fucking spent. Absolutely exhausted from everything and from the vision. Honestly, I'm not sure how much more I'm gonna have in me tonight. We might have to save some of this investigating for tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think I need to sleep on some of what we learned.
We've arrived here?
Yes, you guys pull up in the carriage.
Okay.
I'll see if they need a hand.
What?
What?
I'm looking at their faces.
With pariah blade in hand, liar's blade on my back and pariah blade in hand. I don't say anything. I walk past them. You watch me walk into my theater. I cross the inner chamber, go to a side cabinet, open it up, grab a couple bottles of Yargraz, bring him to a table with a bunch of scripts in the middle of the room, and lay the pariah blade down on the table.
I'm going to walk up with the rest of the swords, including the broken ones.
Yes.
Just drop them on the table and grab some of that bottle.
Funny story. Shit is fucked.
It's so fucked.
Yeah.
What? We know
You don't.
that. I mean,
Well,
we
no,
do.
you don't know.
You don't know what I saw.
Yeah. You don't know how fucked we are.
What did you see?
Who goes first? I'll flip you for it.
Boulder parchment shears.
Little parchment shears.
Oh wait, we're not going on shoot.
Oh,
Are we doing 1, 2, 3
I'm the 1, 2,
shoot?
3 shoot guy.
You were.
So
I
it's
was
bump,
compensating.
bump, bump.
Shoot. Okay.
How come we don't get to play?
I get to choose.
Okay.
You go first.
I take a huge slug of Yargraz.
Yeah.
Got the pariah blade.
All of
That part worked. Yeah. Whole family.
We got the cough. We've got the box.
Got the coffin comes with a catch.
Yeah.
Why is your mask sweating?
Well, we got caught moving.
Good news is we handled it.
Okay.
The bad news is we didn't handle it. Someone else did. The box opened up, and
This spell?
it did. And my best way to describe it, I suppose, is my long dead sister hopped out, took over someone's body, and sucked them back into the box. Oh,
Cormorant.
yes,
Cormorant.
yes. Who's now in there?
Which Cormorant?
Lady.
The
Cormorant. Who was going to kill us, maybe, possibly. I don't know.
Wait, so
You murdered Lady Cormorant?
No, my sister did.
No.
I had nothing to do with it. I told her not to touch the box. I was very, that was my box. Don't touch my box.
Oh my god.
She
I'm
opened
sweaty.
mist, mystery, and then something shot out of the box
Mask.
and latched onto her face.
My sister.
And then she, right in, like water down a drain.
Oh, okay.
And she was going to kill you.
It was not going to end well one way or the other. She was going to take the sword. She had.
Who all know? Who knows that Lady Cormorant was with you?
Honestly, I don't think anybody probably knew. She was alone, as far as we knew. Almost nobody knew that we were there who didn't work for us, and they...
But did she, do you know if she told anybody where she was going? She could have told her entire house where she was going.
She could have, I don't think she did.
She was at the Penteveral, right? That's where they might expect her to be.
Yes.
That's where she's posted up.
Well, I got the sense she had just come around specifically to see us.
Did anybody else see this happen?
No.
Then this is not so bad.
It happened very far away.
I mean, it's bad.
It's bad.
But you getting killed because you got caught is worse.
Oh, way worse. Yes, of course. Yes.
What do you... What drugs are you all on? Because please, for the love of gods, give me some. Because we have Primus Tachonis is missing. His son, Octus Tachonis, is missing.
Mm-hmm.
We now have Lady Cormorant missing.
Yes.
Lord Davinos, dead. His son, missing.
Yes.
I believe you had a story for us.
Yes. Please.
To calm you down at least a little bit, to let you know what I'm sort of on. Where are they pointing fingers at right now with all of these people that have gone missing? Each other. And nobody saw this happen.
No.
And you're alive, and that's all that matters to me.
When we were at the loading dock area, you would have called out if there was gawkers around.
Nobody that you saw. The only loose end is depending on who was having dinner upstairs.
Right. She might have passed other people at a different point earlier. They might have known she was in the building. So
But
she could be
there's
placed in the building.
But she also, there's a need.
She's in the building a significant amount, right? I'm talking above the table.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, and also there's an easy way out of the building anyway. If she was going to see us, she could have left by the back. There's nothing unusual. And there's no, honestly, there's no evidence that, everything bad that happened so far away from prying eyes that it couldn't be more
I don't
secret.
feel foolproof, but I think we're all right.
We'll find out soon enough. But at least you're here.
She got possessed by a 100-year-old god-killing mask and then sucked into a tiny box.
Okay.
I don't think that leaves a lot of clues.
We have to get through some things here.
Yes.
Yes.
You can try and be more pedantic about it, Bolaire. What?
How much control is she under? Is it like your situation?
Oh, no, my sister. No, my sister is a much bigger issue than me. She's a god prison.
Tell us all about it.
She's a god.
Yeah. What you know, Bolaire, is nothing in the process of what you and your sister and your other 4 siblings did cracked her. She never broke. You don't remember, what was a success did not result in her breaking. So her breaking is a thing. You would associate her breaking with her being destroyed.
Yes.
So the fact that she was broken and speaking to you, and her voice didn't sound the same either. It sounded extremely unusual.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Because, she was the first part of that trap. She was the mask that captured the goddess.
You convinced the goddess to wear your sister, and that was the beginning of how you...
Yes. She was the thing that locked her into the story. She was the part of the mechanism that started it. She was no thing. She was I don't know how we work. I don't. She was one of the first parts, which means she was very strong. She didn't have to begin her part of the ritual halfway through once things had weakened, since things were moving. She was just an explosion.
And she, at the end of everything that you did, she survived.
I didn't think so. When you are made by people, it is very, very difficult to know what thoughts are real and your own and which thoughts have been put there. And when you conduct a ritual in the first hour of your existence, everything in there has been put there. So I can't tell you what is true that I know, because it was all made for me.
Okay.
Sweating like a pig on a spit. Oh my gods. Pretty sure the Tachonises are trying to summon an angel of death to storm the Golden Orchard and bring upon an army of undead unlike anything that we've ever seen and lay wastes to all of Ahriman.
At least that's in character.
Right. But
that one of your hunches?
No, I kind of saw it when I looked into the candle. I stared at the candle.
This candle. Plop.
Candle showed me a vision. Saw Octus's face. I think they were trying to turn Octus into an arbiter of death and destruction and lay wastes to Fairy and all the realms beyond.
How wrong did it go?
Didn't work, obviously.
It was interrupted.
Okay.
But they have a backup plan that's meant to take, well, it takes longer,
Just
but
take longer, but they're trying.
And they're already on the move.
This is very upsetting.
And there's another one of these out there in the world as I point to that candle.
It seems to be like a shortcut to what I assume is a very complicated ritual.
Is any of this ringing a bell with anything I would have seen in the museum or otherwise?
Give me Arcana or Religion.
All right. Thank you. Enjoy a natural 20 for a 26 on Arcana.
Ooh!
Boy.
Sexy. This is part of... The Tachonis were a part of... the Tachonis were the people that their job was spurring humanity on to the realm of Tonsul, right? Like they were a house of old Obradimia, but this was like kind of the main dwelling place of that god. It was like his chosen empire, right? And I think on that nat 20, you see that this candle is a corruption of an old inheritance, right? The Tachonis were always a house of death and corpses, embalming, funereal rites, the passage through the underworld to realms beyond. And in the absence of a beyond, it's like being the gatekeepers on half of a bridge that goes straight into the water. It's all corrupted, necromantic magic, right? And I think Bolaire on that nat 20, on that nat 20, Old Balad's coffin, this is manufactured, right? Like this coffin was not, it was made, these plates are real plates taken from like halfling holy places, added to this coffin. This is a corruption. This coffin was, this is part of something wrong. And you realize that Termina fundamentally is still a part of the halfling tradition. Like Termina was made by rebels of the halfling Shapers War, right? The halflings stood up against their god as well, their shaper as well. So in other words, this is a coffin for a celestial of the trickster goddess.
Fuck me. Okay.
With the halfling mask that bound her shattered into it.
Oh no.
And there's something going on in all of this. You connect this, there was the whole Stone of Night song, which Vaelus had come chasing that. So someone's attempting this, you go, there's a vast shape moving on the world that has to do with how the gods mediated to realms beyond.
Why? So why would I think that she was destroyed if she wasn't? Why would you put that into a thing's head unless there was a reason to not go looking for them? Oh. What if there's a sliver of the trickster god stuck in the mask? What if that's a thing?
Sounds pretty fucking likely.
Because this is all clearly,
I mean, the crack that you were describing in the mask also feels a little literal and on the nose.
And the way you described, she seemed different.
The voice was wrong. She looked off. It was wrong. And
is there such a thing as undeath for
a shaper?
There's only 5 of us.
And the last time you saw your siblings was the Shaper's War.
We spent precisely a day together. One day. And that was the end of it.
Does this casket have any kind of clasp or mechanism? Does it seem like it could just easily be
a very humble latch that can be lifted with a finger?
I see repeating patterns. This is what I do.
On that nat 20, the coffin has been crafted quite recently. Not only since the Shaper's War ended, but maybe in the last 10 years.
It's just built of older pieces.
Built of older pieces. It's a Frankenstein. And just looking at this candle, you look at the candle is a Frankenstein of an old Tachonis ritual that used to mean something sacred and now means something profane.
Yes.
The casket, the Stone of Night song was that like, why would an elven artifact be made to get put into Octus Tachonis' chest? And then there's something else.
This is a power play. Why would they need the sword? It's the sword, it's the candle, it's the mask, it's...
You've seen an elven, one of the Stone of Night song you saw with your own eyes. You've seen this coffin of Old Balad. You have seen you've seen Octus Tachonis, who is himself like anathema to the original intent of his house, which was to speed the passage of an afterlife. So he's actually, Octus is kind of the third in that line. And on a nat 20, you can't help but feel like you've seen a fourth. There's something in the magical signature of the coffin that feels like the hum of what Murray saw at the Hallowed Round. There is some magical connection, though you can't be sure, and I think you dwell again on those amphora, the paint that showed up from Thiazi, and what the fuck that was all about. The hour's grown late. My understanding is that you are hiding these objects at the Rookery, the old theater.
Right.
Yes.
We're in the Rookery.
In the
This
Rookery,
is
right.
the Rookery. I will nod my head at the three of you and walk further, deeper into the theater and lead you back to a larger room that has piles of sheet-covered props. There's a wooden horse in here. There are costumes strewn about, some on racks. And there are multiple in the room places where there are sort of like weapons racks with stage blades and weapons of all kinds. Towards the very back of this room is another one of these, a weapons rack, with 3 or 4 very broken, shitty-looking stage swords holstered into it, and there is a very dusty wooden emblem with a picture of a bird carved into it. And Hal walks all the way to the back of this room and rests his hands just on the crossbar of this weapons rack. And then he leans in and pushes really hard, and the whole rack goes, and you hear in the floor underneath. And then he walks over to where some of the wooden slats of the floor are now uneven, and he lifts like a 5-foot wide trap door up, and there is a small set of stairs down just like 5 feet to a few chests, some more bottles. This is our budget for the year.
You sneaky bitch.
I'm gonna leave all this hidden here then, yeah?
It's the right thing.
One additional thought. That paint.
Yes.
presents low-level nothing, right?
Almost auspiciously so.
Right. Yeah.
There's something else to it.
Do we want to put the coffin in a box and paint the box?
I want to put the coffin in the box. And I want to paint the swords as well. Or put the swords
invisible, in theory.
And make it not look like the blades. Don't know.
If we die and all this is left here, some improv troupe in like 20 years is gonna have a real shit day.
Mm-hmm. They're an improv troupe. They're gonna have every day do shit.
It's their fault for getting into the business. Honestly, that's on them.
This is how it's done.
Can I, this feels like,
All ideas welcome.
can I do an Arcana check to see if what they're talking about is
It would probably be better to
give me an Arcana check.
Yeah. Painting
with
the
you.
box is a smart idea.
I think we might
Just
be.
because for the first portion of this story, the paint was like, nothing to see here.
We delved into it and we learned that there is underneath a layer of really something powerful underneath it, and it feels. I'm gonna say, like, because it came to me before, like it's meant to be a component for something, and if we're mixing components and mixing things with different powerful
at the very least, I think putting it on the box that the coffin is in is not a bad idea.
Just lead box.
Boop, boop. Okay, this is going to be Cicine. Hang on. Oh my god, my brain, you guys.
Less is often more.
Why? Everything's great.
23 total, 14 plus 8.
Yeah.
14 plus 8 is 24.
21.
Wait.
14 plus 8, 14 plus 8, 14 plus 8 or 13 plus 8?
14 plus 8.
Is
22.
Is 22.
Yeah.
Good number.
So math.
On a 22 Arcana, all of these plans carry an enormous amount of risk, but on a 22, you guys haven't said one reasonable thing all day.
These plans are stupid.
But you're not doing a common sense check. You're doing an Arcana check, and an Arcana check says that is a good idea. An Arcana check says this. The magic that you sensed in the hallowed round was so foundations of the earth strong that the light illusion on top of it was truly some of the best spellcraft you've ever seen. You have no doubt that it would cover up this coffin. You have no doubt that it would cover up the pariah blades, and it might even prevent them from being located with something like locate object, which is a second level spell. Which if someone just needs to be within 1,000 feet. So if you don't figure out some way to stop that from happening,
I think it's a great idea.
I don't know if it's a perfect idea.
There's
You do not have a maximum security X-Men vault.
Yeah, you don't have a Faraday chamber. So like,
All right, let's do some stagecraft.
You don't hide antiquities.
So that means you're gonna have to get in the carriage and go to the hallowed round where the paint is, essentially.
Yes.
You guys rock up to the hallowed round. Go ahead, if you'd be so kind, Hal, and give me a performance check or a calligrapher or like painter's proficiencies check.
Do you want
for painting?
Yeah.
Do you want help? I think
Bolaire actually might be the person for like in terms of having that proficiency.
Yeah. Whoever is going to set to do it, I will approach you. I will put my hand on your shoulder and I will guidance you.
we can do it together and then do a.
I'm at a +6.
Oh, you're probably because I'm just
help me out.
I can help you out.
Keep me calm. Rock.
Yeah. Steady your hand.
Sure.
Crazy mask.
Not the craziest mask anymore.
Great.
There's a Rolodex of memories move through your mind, a calming memory from your past.
Incredible.
3 on the
that.
And it's performance. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Of the 7 pariah blades, 3 were broken or lost, 4 yet remain whole. The pariah blades that you have with you here are painted to look you get the paint and literally like gloss them. They look like stagecraft. So it's this incredible thing where these blades were made the most mundane and utilitarian they could be to kill gods, and have now been covered in magic stagecraft paint to look extra flashier than a normal sword.
It's McCurdy.
like-
We've McCurdy'd it if you know that story.
It looks like a Nerf gun.
Yeah, it's the train robber who was hung in a who looks so fake. He was hung in a.
What do you paint the coffin to look like? Or I guess you could put it in a box and then paint the box.
That's what I do, and then I paint in simple words, extra wigs.
Yes.
Extra wigs.
Yes.
Extra wigs. Incredible. Great.
Wear the leopard. Well
we paint
done.
extra wigs. No. Don't. It's not in wig. It's not in extra wigs. It's in regular wigs. Don't open extra wigs.
No, I put extra wigs. Then in parentheses, I put maybe lice.
Extra wigs old.
Maybe I love the idea of in the future someone's like, we must find the coffin of old Bolaire. Check everything. Sorry, this one says it's maybe lice. Ooh, no. I'm not bathing my soldiers anymore.
Take the handful of dust and just toss that on top of everything to give it a nice sheen, and let's.
It is once again 2:00 in the morning. You are covered in paint.
Why does this keep happening to us?
It's once again.
This was our easy day.
This was the easy day. We gotta sleep.
Go back to sleep.
I think we're gonna do the fastest of this, and I'm gonna keep pushing us along.
Yeah.
I walk up to Bolaire and I say, some days you just have to embrace the absurd. And I've got a bunch of soot on my hand, and I rub my thumb across the mask and I make a little mustache.
I've always wanted facial hair.
The next day, real quick, we're not even going to go into it at all. No. Everyone just give me a profession check. Just let me know how you do the next day. I also think you guys could make the call if you wanted to not meet up the next day, given that a member of a sundered house just vanished.
Unless something terrible happens.
Let's lay low.
She's working, and I've got party to plan, so I'm
Davinos is doing great.
We can't keep like slinking off into
Doing a
buildings
bunch of stuff together.
We gotta.
Normal day.
Great. Everyone go ahead and give me a profession check if you'd like.
What's a... Like for that roll?
Give me just primary spellcasting.
Okay. This isn't... Sorry, Brennan.
Give me. I would say give me whatever skill you feel you most use in the day-to-day course of business.
All right, that's easy.
This is a new day, so I would roll new portents first.
Yes, that's
right.
correct. Yep.
Let me do that.
Hey, long rest.
I do this.
Oh yes, this is
long rest. Everyone take long rest.
This is the next day.
Okay.
I use persuasion all day long. It's a 24.
I also, if this is the next day, Murray, you have a heroic inspiration, because if I already have heroic inspiration, the next day I gain it, I can give it to someone if I already have it.
Okay,
now
great.
Let me see.
Perfect.
What's up? Okay. I get a which is I'm gonna reroll. With my heroic. Okay. Murray is so tired. It's 11 for me.
You see, you got an 11. I think you get one thing from Cora, who comes over to you at a moment on that 11 and goes.
She's kind of like Murray's kind of nodding off at her.
Jesus.
Sorry, Murray. Just want to pop my head in. Hi, it's Cora. Hello. Sorry.
Hello.
Where did you you submitted Hero Diven for the internship at the Arcanaut?
Yes, I did.
Well, I just had invited those students for a celebratory brunch to begin their program, and Hero informed me that she hadn't applied.
Oh.
You know what, Dean Cora? I think she could be more of a go-getter. I see something inside of her. But you know, she's a little shy. She's a little introverted. Sometimes...
Murray, hello. Hi. Who put in her application?
I did.
Give me persuasion.
She's so tired she can't even be bothered with any bullshit. Natural 20.
Yeah, finally.
You see,
natural 20.
She looks at you and goes,
Unrested bitch face.
Goes, You submitted a student without their knowledge because you thought that she would be right? For
Sometimes magpies need to be shoved out the nest. They're not going to do it on their own. It may look like they're falling and flailing, but that's how they learn.
She looks at you and goes, and this has nothing to do with how influential her mother, Elodie Diven, is with the Merchants Guild. Oh, you are naughty. I love you. That's a great call. And that's exactly the kind of effort that I want to see us taking, is thinking about long-term effects for the Pentavral. I like it. I really like it. You see she walks out of the room there.
As soon as she leaves, Murray just goes...
on her desk.
What did we get for profession checks elsewhere?
19.
19. Okay. 19. Once again, you're doing your job just fine. It's just
same pattern.
Same pattern. You actually get assigned that day to review the Arcanod for any arcane. You see that Lord Herondus Einfossen says, House Cormorant has reached out. A member of their house has gone missing, and she was last seen at the Argonaut. If you can investigate and see if you discover anything.
Lord Einfossen?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I will, of course, agree to that task, and then I'm going to, because I've been holding on to Il Kafsare's report, and as I have been looking through it, does he have any mention of getting paid in his report for the release of the prisoner?
Oh, the bribe he
Bribe. I mean, did he put that in the report?
He did not put that in the report.
Well, what I saw him do was, I saw Hal post bail, and he didn't. And I'm so to Einfossen, I'll say I've reviewed Il Kafsar's report for the prisoner that's been released on bail that Hal Fang posted. In this report, he has no mention of it.
On a 19 of profession check, go ahead and give me deception with advantage because of your high professionalism roll.
Great. That's nice. It is a 23.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Fang posted bail for the release of Misha Andrago.
Yes, Il Kafsare. He's actually on house arrest now at the...
He reviews this and says, understood. Thank you very much.
Yes.
By the end of that day, you see that Il Kafsare's desk is empty. You see him look out in the courtyard and see he is being dragged away as the Lord Einfossen holds up the exact bag of gold that was given to him, being like, corruption in the ranks of the Revolutionary Guard will not be accepted in any way, shape, or form. Absolute adherence to protocol will be demanded. And you see Il Kafsare is out of there. You don't have to face him if you want, but you just see by the end of that workday, you do that earlier in the morning, he's gone.
I carry on.
Carry on.
Need to add to that.
Bolaire.
22.
22. You're able to. You spend the day helping the good Lieutenant Nayar review the Arcanod for any trace of anything that might have befallen the Lady Aabria Daysson Cormorant.
I can honestly say, are you looking into that or no?
I am. This is my job for the day.
Oh, well, I can honestly say that I've already talked to Azune, and there's nothing that I know about it that he doesn't already know.
Great. So you're able to review, and you find...
My report is just as we want it.
Incredible. And Hal, you got a 23, you said?
22.
22, great. On 22, when the performance check for opening night arrives, on a 22, you can add an extra D4 to that roll. Please mark that down on your sheet.
Okay. For the opening night of
for the opening night of Kotheri.
Okay.
Assuming you survive long ugh to open.
Not confident.
Not confident. Incredible.
I'm vindictive.
Head is spinning. I'm vindictive.
At the end of that day,
so far so good.
As rattled as you are, you realize that like that event the previous night has filled you, put a fucking pep in your step. Like the feeling of like I'm alert. And you see, coming back from one of the street crews, you see Shadia comes back towards the end of that day and goes, "Dad, we sold like 200 tickets today."
Oh, we're ahead of schedule then.
Yeah, we pulled up from yesterday. It's awesome. We had a great time. These new swords are great. And you see that she holds up and she says, "We started fencing with these ones, and the sound they make is awesome."
Did you pull up those out of the back?
Yeah. Well, the old ones, because we were doing it, and the old ones, because the old ones were sort of padded, and so they didn't make like an exciting noise. But these new ones are like some flashy kind of metal, and I don't know. Every time we banged them together, everyone just paid a lot of attention.
Show me.
You see that they clang together, and as these two pariah blades clang together, the noise that was last heard in this world when these blades struck against the titanic glaive of, the massive great sword of the god of war is heard in Kahad once more, and every orc in this place is filled with a sense of pride and vigor and joy of life as they go, "Hey! I love that sound!"
Hal, he almost can't talk at the sight of his daughter wielding her ancestor's god-felling blade here in the rehearsal room at the Rookery. And he just sort of blue screens for a moment and says, "I think we got a good show here, folks."
Great. That day, none of you sneak into buildings or commit any crimes.
Boo!
Boo! Boo to that.
Food.
I think Murray, like, as soon as like the workday is done, she stumbles into her like glorified dorm and face plants on the bed and sleeps for like 12 hours that night.
Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. The next day.
What about the 3 hours where I lay in bed smiling and staring at the ceiling, Brennan? What about that?
the
roll for existential dread.
Roll for existential dread.
Next day?
The next day. Yeah, everyone go ahead and give me a roll. We'll keep it grooving along. It's fun.
New portents.
Who does?
If it's the next day, then
long rest.
Bolaire, you get heroic inspiration.
Oh, thank God. So that's what do I get?
You get to do a re-roll of any die.
Okay, I'm gonna take this is a middly one, but I'll take a 12.
By the way, I don't announce it to anyone, but I sleep in the theater.
Great. You said great. Love that. So Misha's just sleeping in your house by
He's solo,
himself?
yeah. He's got a bachelor pad for a bit.
Great. I love it.
I'm sleeping with the pariah blades and a thing of true dread.
Great. I love it.
19.
Incredible. Hero comes by your office. Professor Magnuson?
Hero, hi. Where's my accent? Hero, hi.
Feel that.
I wanted to come by and say I was really confused by why my name showed up, and I really didn't know what was happening. And now that I do, I just wanted to say thank you for believing in me. It really means a lot. I won't let you down.
You got a spark to you, kiddo. I believe in you. Also, everyone else that got accepted are absolute fucking nitwits, so I'm gonna kind of be counting on you to, like, keep a tight ship. All right?
Yeah, you got it. I'll do it.
Hey. I hope you're doing all right.
I'll assume a leadership position amongst the other interns. I'll whip them into shape. I'm not going to let them slack off.
If you need anything or run into any problems, you come and find me.
Okay.
My office is already open.
Bolaire, what do we roll here?
12.
12. Fine. Sort of like average workday. Just like with you see the Cormorants, this project, this whole you see the whole thing. You after Azune puts his report in, you see that some Cormorants come by the museum. You see that the Lady Daysond Cormorant's sort of consort husband, the Lord Daysond, comes by and just says, Mr. Lathalia.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Should you hear anything at all about my lady wife, please report to me as soon as possible. And for the moment, just put everything in the museum on hold. You understand?
Oh, including
everything on hold, just until we understand what's happening.
All right. I suppose since everyone's getting paid anyway for the time and purpose, would it be all right if, since we're not packing everything up, we just turn this into an educational field for a bit? Might as well just use everything to make everyone better. Excellent.
You know your work better than I.
Yes.
Right. And he leaves that place. What did we get here, Hal?
Oh, it was 18.
18, great. Another solid day prepping for everything here. Azune.
I got a 9. And this would be the day that I think I want to, in particular, check on Grotto.
Yeah.
After what I've put him through.
Yeah. Grotto is recovering from everything that he saw. And I think on that 9, it's sort of like a subpar work day. Grotto is in recovery, looking up and saying, in this sort of like Brethren Hall infirmary, and just goes like, you don't think I'm in danger, do you?
I think we're all in danger.
Okay. I'll be out of here tomorrow, and I'll be back on patrol.
Okay. If anything comes up for you, you let me know right away, okay?
Yeah.
I want you to feel like you're safe.
Yeah. You got it. He nods. Looks up at you. I'll tell you. Don't worry. I know what I saw, and people need to know.
They do.
Azune, also waiting for you that day, is where your torch was at Falcon's Rest.
Yes.
Is a return that just says the word tonight from Varen.
Okay.
That night, all of you, having taken your day off, rejoin at the Seven Stars. Waiting for you out there at the front is your old friend Varen Cadorn.
Varen.
He looks at you. You guys are all arrived. He says, there's somewhere good for us to talk?
There is.
Okay.
Yeah.
He walks up.
As he walks up, I tap my tooth and bite my nail and I whisper to Azune. What is this about? Do you know?
This is my contact. He is who is recruiting people for us.
All right.
He's got an update.
Okay.
You guys walk up. Varen, head shorn, sort of thick facial hair, veteran of the Falconers Rebellion. He's probably 6 or 7 years older than Azune is. He looks at you all, sort of shocked to see, I think, Azune, you in the company of academics and, but he just crosses his hands and says, it took me a couple days. I've already put in my notice. They paid out the rest of my wages. I'm not with the Elbrendi anymore. I put out a few feelers to a few guys that I trust, saying if people that were thinking about going to the Sons of the Dawn, mercenaries trying to sign up for sundered houses, I said, just give it a few days before you do, if you're interested, if I can drum up something else. I got about 350 guys that are interested.
Wow. 3.
Might have gotten out of hand.
No. Oh my God. I got chills.
I mean, this is it's incredible.
It is.
And also alarmingly excessive,
She
potentially.
looks and says, I didn't say shit. They don't know a name. These are guys that are willing to give everything. They just need someone to say when. And that's all for this episode of Critical Role.
Oh boy.
Let the nightmare begin.
Begin.
Yeah, I know, right? Weren't you through enough?
I am ready for more.
Woo, baby! Yeah. How about it, gang?
That felt like being on a roller coaster with one wheel off the track.
We have so much to unpack in the cooldown.
I know, we certainly do. And we will. And for everybody else, the only question I can think of is it Thursday yet?
Oh my gosh.
Wow, Brennan.
Why does every session feel like... Wow. I feel like we have 2 sessions in one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, always.
Always.
I just have to